100 points higher. NASDAQ futures up 22 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. If you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world. jdrf.org.
Hey, it's Doc Thompson. Got the new show on MoJo 50 coming up. Hopefully you'll join us for that. And as a regular feature, my good friend, my life partner, Chef Patrick Mosier. I mean that in a food sort of way.
I would hope so.
Yeah. You'll be joining us on the broadcast as well?
Absolutely. Every day that you ask me to.
Talking food and business and prostitutes, right? Because you're the food biz pro, and that's what the pro's for.
It's all about cocaine and hookers.
It's all about cocaine and hookers until somebody gets arrested. And then it's about the legal system. And well, you get the point. We'll be talking food and food trends and business. And of course, we'll be spotlighting business as I always have on my broadcast. But Chef Patrick Mosier will join us, and he has his own platform starting soon on Spoonie Radio.
Spoonie Radio, 24-hour food talk radio.
Can you really talk about food for 24 hours a day?
I could, but even I don't want to listen to myself talk about food for 24 hours. So we will have
somebody will.
Someone will be on the air 24 hours a day talking food, fun, travel, culture, and more than anything, food.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
The Rants of Izzo. United 7. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
Rabies, chronic explosive diarrhea, drug overdose while having sex with Donald Trump, smallpox. That's just the first 5 on the worst ways you can die. This according to Ranker.com, where everybody gets to, vote and add their own particular method here. Skydiving accident, sex with Hillary Clinton, an airplane crash, Ebola. Ebola would suck. That would be don't you bleed out of every hole you have, including your eyeballs? Losing your helmet in space, which don't your eyeballs pop out of your head when that happens?
I thought your body just sucked in on itself.
But your eyeball, every movie I've ever seen, when their helmet depressurizes, their eyeballs get real big.
I guess you're right.
Like they have a thyroid problem. Drowning in your own blood. Uncontrollable laughter. Eating a hot dog. And then drowning in your own blood again. I guess that's really a bad way to go. That would suck. Being chopped up and eaten. Anything involving pygmies.
What the hell?
Being 3 to 5 miles away from a nuclear explosion, then you melt, burn, lose consciousness, and burn up. Again, these are the worst ways to die that people have voted on at Ranker.com. Death in a pressure chamber. Is that like an Instant Pot? You'd be mighty tasty when you came out. Add the right sauce.
Nice and tender.
Yeah, you'd come out of there tasting mighty fine. Getting compacted with cement. Dysentery. Human Centipede. That was, what movie was that? Where
what in the hell is
that's based on some movie that the guy, he was like a mad scientist and he sewed everybody together.
Oh, good Lord.
You'd end up dying. Swallowing glass. Remember we had Dr. Brown in here and he talked about all the things people put up their butt, and and light bulbs was one of them. I guess that's kind of the other end of the spectrum there.
It's dark up there, Bradley.
Wrong hole. A nuclear bomb. Food poisoning. Autoerotic asphyxiation. Fun fact, that was one of Mulder on the X-Files.
Yeah.
He had a thing for that. That's how he thought he was going to go.
Is that where you hang yourself right to the end?
Right to the yes. That's what David.
Somebody's died.
David Carradine did that.
Is that how he died?
Yeah. They found him hanging in the closet. Some suggested Robin Williams had done that, but I don't. Robin had problems,
right?
But David Carradine did too. He was getting off while hanging himself. Getting caught in the gears of a combine. That would only suck if they stopped it halfway through.
Ugh.
If you get caught in the gears, you might as well go all the way through those bad boys. Being stabbed by a stingray.
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Knows all about that. Boy, talk about a 1 in a million?
Yep. Dude's probably swam with, rays for years.
Yeah.
He gets up next to that one and it just
flies over, pops him, and jumps back in the water. An explosion. Being hit by a car is at number 70. A cerebral hemorrhage. Yeah, that would suck. Being alone. I don't know what that means, but anthrax at number 67. Slowly being run over by a tank feet first. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would Fish Called Wanda. Remember when he drove the steamroller over Kevin Kline?
Oh,
I don't think did it kill him? He was in the cement. Being killed by a mule stampede. Being run over by a boat. Yeah. Being skinned alive. You ever watch Game of Thrones?
Oh, my God.
Execution by sword. Hypothermia. A blood eagle. It's a blood eagle.
What is a blood eagle?
The prisoner was cut from the spine and his back was skinned and opened up, and then the ribs were hacked away to get at the lungs, which were then placed on the shoulders to resemble the folded wings of a bald eagle. Who thinks these things up?
That's not like medieval torture.
Didn't they do that in Silence of the Lambs?
I don't know.
Isn't that they did something like amyotrophic lateral sclerosis? Well, who doesn't? That's Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah,
ALS. Crushed. I never knew that's what it was.
Amyotrophic.
No wonder they call it ALS.
Yeah.
Crushed in the depths of the ocean. Cutting your throat. Slow decapitation. Acute radiation syndrome. Being garroted. Know what a garrote is?
No.
A garrote is a piece of, I don't guess it always has to be wire, but it's like piano wire.
Oh, yeah.
Panels, and you put it around their neck and pull, and you shoop all the way down to the...
See that in movies a lot.
All the way down to the bone. Being boiled alive. Being skinned. Being pinned alive. Oh, being like pinned against something. That's what happened to Chekhov, Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
Remember, he got out of his truck on a hill in his driveway,
sure did. And it rolled back on him.
I don't even think he left it. I think he put it in park, and I think something failed, and it rolled back and pinned him against the wall.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible, because you'd sit there watching and just watching the time.
You wouldn't die immediately.
No.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Car accident by a drunk driver. A spider bite. I've been bitten by a spider. I didn't die. Freezing to death.
Brown recluse.
No, I got bit by a black widow.
Really?
Yeah, on my foot.
Did it eat your foot off?
Sadly, I no longer have a right foot. No, it's the pain spread. Here's the funny. I had my shoes, and this is a good warning. Don't. We lived in California at the time. I left my shoes on the porch, and I put them on in the morning, and didn't have any socks on. I felt something bite me. They crawled into dark things like that.
Yeah.
And of course, my mom and dad didn't take me to the doctor. They was like, "You'll be fine. Rub some dirt on it." And it was. I remember the pain spread up to my hip. But hey, I made it.
Wow.
Number 47 is a breast explosion.
What?
I guess. Well, I guess if you have an implant, I guess that's possible. An elevator accident, like the guy in Friday Leftovers at the bottom of the elevator shaft. Oh yeah, Matt will never die in an elevator accident because he will never get on an elevator.
Well, he said he won't go above the 5th floor because he thinks falling from the 5th floor.
Oh yeah,
is survivable.
Sure it is. Sure it is. Being eaten by piranhas. You know what? Someday.
Oh no.
We need to. We need to slip something in Matlock's drink. So he passes out and then carry him to the top of whatever like Reunion Tower here in Dallas and sit him in a chair next to the window. So when he wakes up, we'd have to be out of the room though, because he'd kill us.
Oh, he would.
Number 44, a roller coaster accident. HIV, the Judas cradle.
What in that?
The victim would presumably be placed in the waist harness above the pyramid-shaped seat with the point inserted into their, you
Wrecked him.
Yep.
Yep.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him. Then very slowly lowered by ropes. The subject is tortured by intense pressure, stretching of the orifice, eventually succumbing to tears and muscle tissue.
Oh,
Again,
gross.
who thinks of these things? Death of 1,000 cuts. Falling off a cliff. Electrocution. Let's see. Colon perforated by a horse.
Whoa.
That's got 2,600 upvotes. Being perforated by a horse. Scaphism or scaphism. What's that? You have any idea? I don't.
Scaphism?
Scaphism. Scaphism. I guarantee you.
Scaphism.
I guarantee you somebody out there knows.
Somebody's going to throw it out there.
Lynching. A wood chipper accident. Being crushed by a helicopter. Murder. Being devoured by starved dogs.
Matt can tell you about a wood chipper accident.
Is that where he?
That's how he lost his,
only gives us a high 4.5 now.
A high 4.5.
That was a wood chipper.
Yeah, a wood splitter.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, there's a difference between a wood splitter and a wood chipper.
You're right. A wood splitter is the one that has the hammer that comes across and just breaks it into two.
Right.
A wood chipper, pieces.
Yeah, a wood chipper is like a funnel on the top, and you pour stuff into it.
I think that's right. He'll have to tell us, but I think that's right. I think it was a wood splitter that he got his hand into.
That would make sense because those are slow.
Yeah,
I bet that hurt too.
Yeah, he said it.
You have any pictures of it? Being crushed by a helicopter. Being crushed by a helicopter. All right. Murder. Well, that's boring. Devoured by starved dogs. Apparently is popular. Being
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's her? Yeah, there.
Bolton.
Yeah. Stomped by an elephant. You know, if you get that close to an elephant,
you earned that.
Being stoned to death. Execution by hanging. We had a discussion about this last night. The fact that being hanged is quick because you drop through and boom, there goes your neck. But I guess in most cases, but it's the anticipation. You're standing there on that platform. You've got the hood on, and you don't know when it's going to happen. And that would,
That's what I think it would feel like to sit in one of those slingshot things.
Yes, that's what every thrill ride is based on. Stabbing is at number 28. Being murdered by a chainsaw, and a couple of documentaries on that here in Texas. Being eaten by cannibals, choking, gangrene. That's under assassination in ways that appear natural. Gangrene. Being raped and killed. An Iron Maiden. That's the spikes on your head. That's the big helmet you wear with spikes in your head. Again, being eaten alive. You know, and I say if it's by an alligator, you deserved it. If you're sticking your head in an alligator's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just make sure that I can get the camera rolling before you do it because I want to watch that one over and over. Brazen bull. I don't know if that is a bull or some sort of technique. Being tortured. Number 18 is attacked by a bear. And again, if you're close enough to a bear,
if you let yourself get close enough to a bear, or let a bear get close enough to you.
I have been so fascinated lately with the alligator videos and the bear attack videos. I don't know why, but it's just fun watching stupid people.
I started to say it's just stupid people.
And you're rooting for the bear and the alligator. It's like, close your mouth now. Close now. Being slowly burned to death by acid. Flaying.
Oh, no, I'm out.
You know what flaying is?
Isn't that opening, cutting you like, no, that's filleting.
That's filleting.
What's flaying?
Flaying is, if I'm not mistaken, that is peeling your skin off. They did that in Game of Thrones too.
Yeah.
And you end up looking like the guys in the Body Worlds exhibit.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Being murdered by your own children. Don't they do that slowly over the course of your life, though? A shark attack, starvation, impalement, being beaten to death, being dragged by a car, suffocation, drawn and quartered. Every time I see drawn and quartered anywhere, written or otherwise, I think of Tom Waits, his song Misery's the River of the World.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing true about mankind is there's nothing kind about man.
Drawn and quartered.
You start thinking of
that's medieval, too.
Yeah, yes, it is.
A lot of these that you've mentioned are medieval.
Yeah, they are.
Torture.
All thought of by humans. Execution by burning. Remember that video with the ISIS videos of that?
Yeah.
Drowning and crucifixion at the top of the list. Those are some of the worst ways to die. Some of the easy ways to die that'll make you appreciate life. These are the top 25 that you could happen at any time. Slipping in the shower. How many times?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've damn near killed myself, 10 times slipping in the shower.
And when you do it, you
yeah, exactly.
Holy shit! I need to put strips on the bottom of the. Yeah, because you realize there's a lot of hard things. But then you don't do it. But then you don't do it because you're in a hurry. You got to get to work. Mixing bleach with ammonia while cleaning. You ever done that?
No.
Was it chlorine gas that it creates?
No,
I've done it.
Really?
Oh yeah, years and years ago when I was stupid. Shut up. It's really, if you like with Clorox cleanup and then Windex, it starts burning your nose.
Yeah.
By the way, if that ever happens, stop breathing it. An allergy attack at number 23, while driving at 22. These are all the easiest ways to die that'll make you appreciate life. Carbon monoxide poisoning.
And that sneaks up on people.
Yeah, it does.
A lot of people don't realize that.
No. And that happens a lot when people, especially in the cold of winter, they'll put a propane heater or something in their house.
Yep.
Not a good idea. Living for 100 years. They said it's a bit of a joke, but in all seriousness, if you don't die of anything else in this list, old age is going to get you eventually. Some scientists even believe the human body has a maximum lifespan due to limitations on cell division. That's not proven, they say. Ignoring toothaches is at number 19.
I've probably found myself in that situation a couple of times.
Doc had a toothache.
He did.
He had that front tooth was bugging him.
Yep.
See, I told him, go to the dentist. No, you got the triangle of death on the front of your face. Yeah. That's, and I didn't call it, wasn't it Dr.
Right.
Oz?
Yeah.
You
get a big pimple in the triangle of death.
Oh, yeah.
You got to watch that thing.
Dry drowning.
Okay, what is that?
Dry drowning, it can happen hours after getting out of the pool. You accidentally breathe in water in the pool. It eventually causes your vocal cords to spasm and close up, making it impossible to breathe. This typically affects kids several hours after they've left the water.
Whoa.
Dry drowning.
Whoa.
My mom, when I was younger, she would say, you could drown in a half an inch of water. And I always thought that was stupid, but it's true. Taking Tylenol for a hangover at number 17. If you do this, it can kill your liver because it's so busy processing the alcohol that it has to process the Tylenol differently. They say stick to ibuprofen. I have no idea if that's true or not. Jumping out the window.
Yeah, no.
That's an easy way to die.
Not anything I could do. There's too much thought. There's too much thought on the way down, brother.
Again, do you remember the people at...
Unless you're on the first floor, don't do it.
World Trade Center?
Yeah.
That, and they never showed that.
Now, you're right, they didn't. And there's a lot of pictures out there. But look, I mean, if in your mind at that time, you have a choice of burning to death or having a quick death, I say...
Oh, absolutely.
Jump. But the bottom line is please have a heart attack on the way down or let God take your soul before you hit. I
would think so, because that would be...
Lord.
Yeah, if whatever's behind you is so bad that you want to jump 100 stories...
Yep.
Man, that's rough. Taking selfies is another easy way to die. That number keeps going up every year. About what we have.
God, there are some stupid
44 people.
You showed me a video this morning.
The guy.
What a dumbass.
The guy with a train. He didn't die though, did he?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He got hit and knocked out and he got like brain damage. But
I guarantee I'm not the only one who's looked up people hit by trains. Overdosing is the next one. Not many people do this on purpose when it comes to opiates, but always be careful. Shaking a snack machine. This is an easy way to die.
Because it falls over on your dumb ass?
It falls over and crushes you. I've done that before. I've shaken them.
$1 package of chips.
If you're hungry,
some people will beat the hell out of a machine for that.
If you're hungry, it might be worth it. You can die.
Some ding dongs or something.
You know what? A chocolatey ding dong. I'm all in. Drinking too much water. You can drown yourself.
There were some. What was it? Some kids at a college forced a guy to drink like one of those 5-gallon.
There's a fine line between getting enough water and getting too much water.
Yeah.
Apparently. Oh yeah. You can overdose on anything, including water. Falling off ladders. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Cleaning out your gutters or doing anything. And I used to be fearless on the ladder, and I started to get up on one to clean out part of a gutter a few months ago. I was up there, and I thought, ooh, this is I should go make a phone call. Not responding to that chain mail. What if the letter is real? I think they threw that one in there because this is so heavy. Number 9 is a storm chasing in a paraglider.
What?
People actually do this. Look up the
Here's
name.
the thing.
Ewa Wisnerzelskub.
In a hang glider.
In a hang glider.
Paraglider.
He was a German paraglider. He survived lightning strikes, oxygen deprivation, and freezing.
That's fine,
weather.
but you get 20 miles near a thunderstorm.
Apparently he's still alive.
In a paraglider, it's going to put you on the ground.
But is the guy, I think the guy's still alive. Let's see. Uwe Kirstenliga is...
By the grace of God, he's still alive.
He is a
I'm
Polish-German paraglider. Member of the German national paragliding team. Dude is still and lucky. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think I want to go out to dinner with a guy. He's lucky. You're not going to be. Choking at number 8, extremely anticlimactic, but if you live by yourself, this is all too possible. My friend Mac, we were having dinner one night. It was after his dad had died, and we were all over there having dinner at the house, and he came out of the door. I thought he was kidding. He was like, I thought he was...
universal sign for I'm
choking.
choking.
And I thought he was messing around. I didn't do anything, so he goes over and throws himself over a chair.
Did he get it out?
Yeah, he got it out. But
He's
like
self-Heimlicked?
Yeah, he self-Heimlicked.
Whoa. I've never heard of anybody doing that. I've seen the Heimlich maneuver before, but I've never.
That's scary too. When
That's
you
what
have
they
something.
tell you to do, though, is bend over. Thrust your body.
They tell you
into
to do
a
that
chair.
for a lot of reasons.
I'm sure.
Playing Frogger in real life.
Those are dumbasses.
There are apparently kids who really do that. Wearing a really long scarf in a convertible.
That's a slow strangulation. That's what that is.
Isadora Duncan, wasn't she an actress?
The name sounds familiar.
She died like this when her scarf got caught on one of the wheels.
Oh no, I was thinking of it spinning and twisting behind you. But yeah, I can see that.
That's just wind. But if your scarf is long enough to go outside and under the wheel,
that's just pure idiocy. Why would you wear something that long?
I mean, that'd make you lose
in a convertible.
Make you lose your head. Base jumping is number 5.
All right, that's scary.
That's just jumping off a building.
It is,
but a platform.
Literally, you have to throw your parachute out there and hope that it opens before you hit the ground.
So you're not wearing the parachute when you do it?
Yeah, you're wearing the parachute, but you actually have to toss it in the air because
you just hold. I got you. You just hold the parachute and then let it go. Gotcha.
Or the drogue chute that pulls the parachute out. But the bottom line is they have to be really quick opening chutes, and these guys are. I mean, that's the height of daredevilism, if you ask me.
Diving into the shallow end.
That's a dumbass.
Unless you have a steel neck, always check the depth. Not looking when you cross the street. Not wearing a helmet. And the number 1, the easiest way to die is a brain aneurysm.
Yes. And
I've had
that typically will take you right away.
Friend of mine mowing the lawn in Nashville and boop.
Yep.
Gone. Bye-bye. So those are some of the, wait until I give you, I've got coming up in the next half hour, I got some numbers that will blow you away.
Makes me wish I had some weird music to play right now, but I don't.
No. You work with what you got. Let's see here. Okay, so funeral arrangements for Doc, they've been posted on our Facebook page. Visitation is going to be Thursday. The service, the celebration, the lunch are on Friday morning. Everybody's welcome. A couple of rules. We're working on streaming it, by the way. Skip is, I talked to Skip yesterday. He and a friend of Doc's in Virginia are working on getting that streamed out. So not the service, but the celebration of life.
Celebration of life.
And maybe the lunch and who knows what else. And 3, or actually just 2 rules. There's only 2 rules that we, and this is just for, and Una asked for these. No pictures of Una and the kids while they're grieving. I totally get that.
That's a reasonable request.
Yep. And Cubby doesn't know yet how this happened. So we have to come up with a code word. We don't want him to know it was train right now.
Yeah, Cubby loves trains, guys.
Yeah.
We don't want him to know that a train was the cause of this. So,
so we're going to try to
come up with a different word.
So I'm thinking marshmallow or the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Opelka came up with big government. Big government.
Big government.
Because
smacked him right upside the head.
Amtrak is big government. So
that's good. I like big government because I don't want the kid being freaked out about marshmallows, dude.
I thought about that too. But how often, I mean, at some point, you know. So if you have any ideas, tweet them out or put them on Facebook. And we also, just again, a heads up to any caterers up there. I just have a feeling we're going to need more information and share, or more food, and share the information as well. And a big thank you, by the way, to TRA Guns. There's a reason they call them America's most convenient gun store. And that's because it's really convenient, and you never have to leave your house. Here's the thing: all of our clients, all of our sponsors have been just amazingly. I mean, because they got all turn around and go, "Hey, you know what? We're gone. We're done." But that's not what they're doing.
You know, that's very important to say, and it's very important for people to understand. Our sponsors have stepped up, and they have become very big fans of not only the show, Doc Thompson, but of the station, of the network, and we're very honored.
Are we
so
officially
we
a
appreciate
station?
it. We're a station. I would call it a station, Brad. We're a station. We're a digital station.
Where's it? Do we have a tower?
No.
We should build a tower.
We should build a tower.
Just a big stick in the air and put a red light on the top
I'm sure,
of it.
much like the MoJo River, we can point to the one that's out here and
It
go, yeah,
would
there it
look
is.
You know what? We'll get that erected next week.
Erection.
We will start to work on
Man,
that.
you've been light on the bell today.
I
too.
am. Oh, damn it. Okay, again.
There's a lot going on in that
There's a lot
brain.
going on. I just had to sit over there, and I had to laugh, and I had to read a tweet every now and then. I'm so pissed at Doc. Son of a bitch just left me with a pile of undone stuff.
Undone stuff.
There's a lot to do on this side. All right, we'll keep doing it though. By the way, some more interesting numbers coming up, and a couple of things. Just stick around. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, Freedom. MoJo 50.
Mike.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill for a Monday. You know, the media has taken itself a little too seriously, in my opinion, especially the part of the media that's supposed to entertain us. I'm focused on late-night talk show hosts, Kimmel, Conan, Colbert, all the people who have decided to divide us rather than entertain us. And it wasn't always that way. No, before these guys got their multi-million-dollar deals, there was the king of late-night talk shows, the king of late-night comedy, the one, the only Johnny Carson. And there was a time he was asked about why he never took on politics or serious issues.
Do you get sensitive about the fact that people say, he'll never take a serious controversy? Well, I have an answer to that. I said, now, tell me the last time that Jack Benny, Red Skelton, any comedian, use his show to do serious issues. That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? But you're not. Why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? That's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to get that self-important feeling that what you say has great import. And you know, strangely enough, you could use that show as a forum. You could sway people, and I don't think you should as an entertainer.
Carson was 100% correct, and maybe that's why he was the king in my mind, the king for all time. I wish that late night would focus on entertaining us as opposed to dividing us. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, get your tweets and your comments in. Use the hashtag What I Learned Today. Let's be frank in PA. So engineer caps are not suitable for attire at the service. I'm leaving that up to you. Jackie McJackhole, I was a competitive swimmer for 12 years in the 80s and first part of the 90s. I dove in the shallow end of the pool daily for over a decade. Jackie McJackhole, that explains so much. So much. Another piece of the puzzle falls into place. Stinky says, oh, wait, what was his big fear? Snake bites. See, that would have been, ooh.
I don't know. Wait, he wasn't afraid of snake bites.
He didn't like snakes.
He didn't like snakes at all.
But a snake bite, that would be ironic. That's a good one. Over on the Facebook, Marion Humphreys says scaphism, also known as the boats. This is one of the one of the worst ways to die. Is an alleged incident or alleged ancient Persian method of execution. The word comes from the Greek something and something else, meaning anything scooped or hollowed out. It entailed trapping the victim between two boats, feeding and covering him with milk and honey, and allowing him to be festered and devoured by vermin. Again, who are the people that think of this shit? I know, we'll stab him in the chest. No. Here's what we'll do. We'll put him between two boats and let him rot and have the vermin eat him. And yes, Kamala, I need a secretary. Boy, do I need a secretary. I'm Brad Staggs. The guy behind the glass over there is should we start calling him Mr. President? Mr. President and CEO?
That's up to you.
I had a bunch of people ask me.
Just call me the guy behind the glass.
I don't know.
I'm
You
good
seem
with
proud of that. I think. But a lot of people were saying that was a very nice post that you put on Facebook.
Thank you.
I don't know because I didn't read it because damn, Facebook is going to start limiting us on words.
I know, but
they
the
said
thing was,
it was very nice.
It was cathartic for me. I needed to do that,
and it made you feel better too.
It made me feel better.
Over in England, the day this news made it across the pond, and I just want you to know my name is like 1, 2, 3, 4 of the headlines down at the top of the posts. I am now somebody. And I got a free hat out of the deal. So there's some positive to come out of it. Continuing on our little journey down death row here, these are the odds of each of these ways to die. Heart disease and cancer is really the easiest or the most likely way to go. 1 in 7. Chronic lower respiratory disease, 1 in 28. Intentional self-harm is 1 in 95. I guess that'd be any type of suicide. Unintentional poisoning by and exposure to noxious substances, which doesn't sound like a fun way to go, is 1 in 96.
Are you expecting a call?
I don't know.
Well, you
not
have
this early.
You have. I got notified that a guest was trying to call in, so we've got a caller on the line.
Is that no? It's not this half hour, but I don't know. You want to just see who it is? Let's just. You know what? What the hell? Let's take the call. What area code?
310.
310 on the most expensive phone system in the world. Who's area code 310? Hello? You're on the air, caller. Or not. Going once, twice, and...
Nope.
No.
Don't hear anything.
Motor vehicle crash. Your odds of dying in that are 1 in 114. A fall from I guess, it doesn't really say, so it could be a fall in your shower. 1 in 127. Assault by a firearm, 1 in 370. Being a car occupant. I guess that's if your friends are really crappy drivers. Your odds are 1 in 645. A pedestrian incident, your odds are 1 in 647. A motorcycle rider incident, they go up a little bit, 1 in 985. Unintentional drowning and submersion, 1 in 1,088. Exposure to fire, flames, or smoke. Okay. Choking from inhalation and ingestion of food is 1 in 3,461. Air and space transport incidents. Air and space transport incidents. The likelihood, the odds of you dying in that are 1 in 9,821. I don't even know what that is. Exposure to natural heat. 1 in 16,584. Contact with sharp objects. 1 in 38,174. Contact with heat and hot substances. See, if you'd asked me when I was 8 how I was going to go, that's how I would have said, because my grandmother, she warned me one day. I remember this very well. I was standing in the kitchen at the house in New Hampshire. I heard it too. And she says, don't touch the stove. It's hot. Next thing I did, I touched the stove. I know that surprises a lot of people, but it was hot. 1 in 56,000, 1 in almost 57,000. Contact with hornets, wasps, and bees. Your odds of dying in that are 1 in 63,225. A cataclysmic storm, 1 in 66,000. I guess those odds go up if you are in a paraglider. Being bitten or struck by a dog. Being bitten or struck by a dog.
I guess I can understand the biting part, but it was somebody swinging around a dog. Your odds of dying from that are 1 in 112,000. Legal execution. Your odds of dying in a legal execution are 1 in 119,000. That's kind of odd, isn't it? And dying from a lightning strike is 1 in 161,000. Notice that of all of these ways I've mentioned in the last 35, 40 minutes, there's one missing.
Yeah, so I'm being told it was John Miller. I'm rebooting the phone systems.
Oh, okay. I thought he wasn't calling in until next hour, but that's fine. We can talk to him now.
Yeah, as soon as I can get it back up.
All right.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, damn it. Sorry, I'm bell deficient today. I'm learning. It's like training wheels. The one thing that wasn't mentioned in there, as we all know, according to the National Safety Bureau, every 115 minutes, either a person or a vehicle is hit by a train. That's the basis. And take this when you hear all of this. These are statistics that are over 10 years old, so the odds are going to be higher. So we take that as a model, and according to the CIA fact book, there are 295, well, that's going to be a higher number here, 295 million people in the United States. 4.004% of the population hit by trains. The odds of being hit and killed by a train, 1 in 1,920,351,519.
You are full of shit.
1 in 1,920,000,000.
Buy a lottery ticket on that day.
1,519. By the way,
a lottery ticket.
Is that not stunning? 1 in over almost 2 billion. That blew me away. That is just beyond belief. But speaking of lottery tickets, though, Ron, I found in Doc stuff 1, 2, 3, 4 lottery tickets.
What?
I haven't yet checked, but if I'm not here tomorrow, you know. You know. Although his odds were sucked up right there with the train, so
there is that.
1 in 2 billion. That is unbelievable. But that is the only way that I think Doc Thompson would have wanted it. And the reason I say that is because just imagine if, I mean, good grief. I've known people who have died of cancer, and it's a horrible way to go. A train, boom, done, gone. Now you add up all of the other little things, the ironies, the billboard in front of the studio here. You find out that someone very close working on a story on train safety. I mean, it is, and this is the most mockable way to go that I can possibly think of. Because what kind of a dumbass runs on the train tracks with earbuds in? You're thinking it, I'm thinking it, I said it. This reminds you that we all do stupid things every day. When was the last time you were in your car and you had your phone and you're texting while you're driving? That's a really dumbass thing to do too, because all it takes is a second, and I've done it too. I've done the very same thing. So before we start pitching darts, let's pitch them anyway. Before we start throwing darts at Doc, let's remember that we are all doing dumb things during the course of our day. Really stupid things. And sometimes you just have to think about those things before you, if you really want to appreciate what you have, like those easy ways to die that make you appreciate life. It's been several years ago. Doc worked at WTAM. And we've been going through some of his old old tapes. I thought this would be kind of fun. This is from 2003. Take a listen.
Bob Becker on News Radio WTAM 1100.
Good morning, Cleveland. It's a damp morning, North Coast. Hey, that's not Bob Becker. No, it's actually Doc Thompson pinch hitting for Bob Becker today. Normally heard on the Lanigan and Malone Show on Magic 105.7 Radio. We'll be taking your calls this morning, talking about all kinds of good stuff.
Good.
I want to ask you a question, though. How many truly extraordinary people do you know? How many people do you know that are the best at what they do, or hell, even one of the best at what they do? How many people do you know that are exceptionally talented in any one area or field? I know many people that are very good at what they do, but I know many that are brilliant, that stand out as the creme de la creme. So what percent of Americans do you think are remarkable? Not good, but I'm talking great. What percent of Americans do you think are truly great in one area or field? It's definitely under 10%. I'm saying it's probably around 3%. Let's say for a minute that you were one of those best top people in a certain sphere of influence. Where would you work? If you were the best at a particular thing, where would you work? Would you work at all? Would you be content to serve your fellow man, to make the world a better place to live? Or would you go for the cash? Now, for me, it's no choice. There's no question. I'm going for the loot. It'd be nice to serve my fellow man, to help people out, but I am going for the cash first. If you were the best computer software writer in the world, would you accept the offer from Microsoft, or would you be content to work for some form of government because you wanted to serve your fellow man? And I think most people would be counting the Benjamins. So you got at most 3% of the population that are truly outstanding, and I think most of the people are going to go for the cash. So we have a situation where there are very few amazing people, and most of them are going to work in the private sector. Now think for a moment. That means that the vast majority of the leaders at every governmental level are at best good, probably average, and there's going to be quite a few that are below average. And these are the people that are deciding how we live and what happens in the future. Are you comfortable with that? Less than extraordinary people making decisions about your life? Probably people that are less extraordinary than you are. Hell, look around your place of employment. Look at your coworkers. How many of them are exceptional? You don't want to look around here, trust me. How many of your bosses or anybody that's making decisions for your company or any company that you do business with, how many times you get off the phone, you're going, that person was an idiot? There's a whole lot of them. That's my point, which stands to reason that at every governmental level, there are a lot of idiots. And that is why I believe Cleveland's future is in trouble. How can we expect politicians to come up with brilliant ideas and be able to implement them if they're not brilliant people? The brilliant people are making the cash in the private sector. This happens it's not just Cleveland, it's all over the country. What percent of Congress, of the 535 members of Congress, do you think are brilliant? How many of them can think out of the box, come up with unique ideas, and have the charisma and political clout to implement them? Of those people, how many of them are not being bought off? How many of them are not worried about just getting reelected? The latest debacle here in Cleveland is the convention center. Yeah, Cleveland, that at one point was a dynamic city at the turn of the century. It was a top 15 market. People flocked to Cleveland, mainly because of the jobs. You had people immigrating from different countries and settling in Cleveland. Then Cleveland slowly started its decline in the 60s. Then some people got together, came up with some good ideas, and really turned Cleveland around in the 80s. And at that point, I really think everyone went, well, we're here. We're good. Look at this. Cleveland's renaissance. I mean, I did it. I told everybody, all my friends, I'd go on vacation. You got to come to Cleveland's great. We got this going. We got that going. The flats were booming. Boy, we were just rolling. And I think what happened, people said, hey, we're all set. This is great. Cleveland is done. The genius behind the McDonald's franchise efforts in the 50s, Ray Kroc said it best. You're either green or growing, or you're brown and dying. There is no status quo. If you think you have arrived, you are in trouble. You've got to constantly be growing, especially in the business world. So I ask you, do we need a convention center? I don't think so. I think it's a bad idea. Sure, it'd be nice to have a convention center when you get a lot of other things going on, when you've turned the city around. Sure, why not have a convention center? But it is way, way down the list of things we need. And now, the mayor's come out with her projections. She says $422 million without the cost overruns that plague the city's sports stadiums. That's what she says. It's going to cost us $422 million, but don't worry, there will be no overruns. Anybody remember the famous Mike White line, on time, on budget? Meanwhile, Brown Stadium, $53 million over budget. After Jane Campbell said, no, we're not going to have to worry about those overruns. Then she went on to update City Council yesterday on cost estimates and negotiations for the new center, but she cautioned that the numbers could change. That's what it is. It's an overrun. If you're changing it, you're telling us it potentially will not cost the $422. It may cost a whole lot more. And then they're going to come to you and say, we need your cash to get this done. You are going to see a marketing effort for the convention center in full gear, probably starting tomorrow, starting Monday. And it's just going to get worse and worse until November when they ask you to increase the county sales tax yet again by 0.25%, bringing it to 8.25%. And they're also going to ask for increasing the taxes on local hotel stays. I say that is outrageous. The state's increasing taxes. County sales tax is already exorbitant, and they're going to ask you for more for a convention center, which I say will not benefit the city that much. You want to talk to me? You can do so right now. All you have to do is dial 216-578-1100 or 888-723-WTAM. I am Doc Thompson, in for Bob Becker. Hello there. Welcome to TAM. Hello, hello, hello.
Is this Bob?
No, it's Doc. I'm in for Bob. How are you?
Okay, Doc. Your question this morning on your menu was excellent. What causes a man to originate? An entrepreneur, an idea, Walter Reuther, all of the leaders of this nation, you know. That's a terrific discussion.
Well, you know, Mrs. Fields didn't become Mrs. Fields because she was an average person. She had a great idea, she had some ability, and she also had the marketing savvy to get it done. How many of your leaders do you think are exceptional? Do you think Jane Campbell is exceptional? Nothing against the lady. She's nice, but do you think she is exceptional?
Well, she had an idea, you know.
What was her idea?
Exceptional. You know, an opinion is what is exceptional. As a liberal, I think that Walter Reuther was exceptional. I think that Hubert Humphrey was exceptional because I've been in politics since I was 26. I'm 77 now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is exceptional is a man who originates an idea. Henry Ford was exceptional.
Absolutely.
But when you identify these leaders, whether it be the social leaders of this nation because of our republic and where we evolved in the Industrial Revolution, and to where we are right now, the equation is excellent. If you analyze who these people are, you take me. I lost my right eye in the Philippines. It did something to me. I became a leader because I started realizing that at age 19, when they took the eye out of my head from the Philippines, that I was a different person. Now, I can't get a job anymore. You only have one eye. I'm sorry, we can't hire you. So then I said, I'm going to do something about that. I got active in the labor movement, 31 years. A city councilman, 18 years.
How many of your fellow leaders were exceptional? How many of them really could come up with brilliant ideas and get them implemented?
Not too many.
That's what I'm saying.
But you see, that one person who has an idea that evolves, that comes out there, there's a reason that motivates him, you know, and that's where leaders come from. Probably one of the greatest leaders in my lifetime was Walter Reuther because I know what he did for UAW and northeastern United States. When I see the demise of the auto industry, the steel and the rubber industry, rubber is not in Akron anymore. Steel is not in Youngstown and Cleveland anymore. And the auto industry is in a war around the world with cars. And we're going to need some kind of a new entrepreneur to say, okay, let's get the Rust Belt off of this back and let's get this area moving again. Let's have land use like it should be. You know, when I can evolve like this in talking to you, Doc, I lived it.
But see,
that's for 7 years.
But they're not.
Years.
See, they're not doing that.
No.
Here's what they're saying. They're saying we're gonna build a convention center, and that's going to get the job done for us. They really come up with these plans. I mean, hell, they thought that about Brown Stadium and Gateway. It's going to renovate the city. Now, it did do some good things, and I, for one, enjoy going to the Jake and the Gun, but I don't see it turning the city around. I can't figure out if they really believe that that is all it takes to renovate a city, is to build a convention center, for example. If they really believe that if we build it, they will come, and we're all set. Or if they think this is one small piece of the puzzle, or if they're just looking to build something to make it look like they did something. I talked with Tim Hagan not long ago, and he said when he worked for Governor Rhodes, Governor told him when he was a young man, said, Tim, if you want to be in government for a long time, you got to build something so that people can see you're doing something. I'm paraphrasing that, of course. Maybe that's what they're thinking. We build it, it looks like we're doing something. Take some more of your calls in just a couple of seconds. Plus, I've got some stats on convention centers around the country, and I don't think it's the savior that people pretend it is. You'll be shocked. You want to talk to me? 578-1100? 888-723-WTAM. Channel 3 weather for this afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms, high around 83. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and T-storms, low in the upper 60s. And for tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms, again, a high around 82. Currently moist and 70 at News Radio WTAM 1100.
That from 2003, that was Doc Thompson on WTAM. And first of all, I'd never heard Doc do the weather. That was kind of cool. But I knew he'd say moist. To the phone lines right now. John Miller's on the line. Hey, John, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You're the host of White House Brief on CRTV, right?
Correct. Well, now we're officially Blaze TV. We had the merger, so now CRTV,
yes.
Blaze came together. We're Blaze TV.
Co-presidents and all. And I know it's kind of weird to hear Doc's voice given the events of the past week or so. But
and let me just say, I just want to say, first of all, how sorry I am for everything you've lost. And I think I met him, Doc, 2 or 3 times, and so I didn't know him well. But from what I did know of him, I mean, each time I met him, he was just the most convivial, companionable guy. And you know, it's just I think everyone is hurt by it. So
behind the scenes, he was a jerk. Behind the scenes,
funny.
He was just a real jerk.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's
he'd eat your pizza.
I mean, that's from what I hear, you know, the whisperings might be different. Though.
No, that's the beauty of Doc. What you saw was what you got.
No, yeah.
And
it was funny. Each time I met him, you know, we had him as a guest, and he was the type of guy who, you know, usually, you know, I work producing TV and I work producing some radio, and usually you have guests and they come and they go, and you're like, oh, that was good. Every time we had Doc as a guest, it was like, he's really good. So he was just an exceptional man from what I knew.
Real smartass, too. That was him. Right?
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
In a good way.
Yeah. He was a smartass, but he was really, truly a smartass. Left me with a whole bunch of work to do, so I'm irritated. I wanted to get your take, John, on the Elizabeth Warren made her first campaign stop in Iowa over the weekend, right?
Yeah, it's a joke.
I thought the most interesting thing she said, and I don't see it. I'm not even going to play it because it takes about 30 seconds. But she basically said in 2020, not only would President Trump not be president, he might not even be a free man. Expound on that.
I mean, she is. It's clear. I mean, she's just completely validifying the fact that people think it's a witch hunt. But as she said, he might not be a free person in 2020. It's obviously a not so subtle reference to the investigations led by Robert Mueller, by the federal prosecutors in New York, and then also the House Democrats. So everyone is now investigating Trump, but it just comes to the point that she thinks that she's just throwing red meat out to her base. She thinks we're going to impeach Trump, hoping that he's not going to be in office, and maybe he'll be behind bars. If that's all she has, then, you know, good luck to Liz Warren, because other than that, she's a huge joke. I mean, she has the Indian thing going, which, you know, not even the Democrats are taking her seriously after that. She's had to apologize to several groups now because of her ridiculous comments. And the president, rightfully so, mocked her on social media. And, of course, the Democrats are predictably outraged by the reference to, he said, you know, see you on the campaign trail, course, they're outraged by that. I just want to know, they don't seem to be outraged by this woman who took advantage of another protected group's status and then undeservedly received academic and professional opportunities at their expense. So, where's the outrage on that?
Yeah,
so
that's
I don't think he's got a shot.
It's the Democrat double standard, which, by the way, I think that's going to be one of our new sponsors, the Democrat School for Double Standards, and how you can get away with it. But did you see over the weekend, Rob Lowe tweeted that she would, if she was elected, she would give new meaning to the word commander-in-chief. And then
I didn't see that.
He deleted it and apologized. And we tweeted out at him.
Man.
It's like, dude, don't be a pussy. That's the good stuff right there.
No.
You don't. That is funny. And if we don't regain our sense of humor, and B, how come she gets a pass and gets in her book Pow Wow Chow to sign it Elizabeth Warren Cherokee, and he can't say it gives new. That's a funny line. What?
I mean, it's hilarious, and I mean, it just comes down to this PC culture that no one can take a joke. I don't know if you saw SNL, because that ship has sailed. But SNL did a skit on the women of Congress, the Congresswomen, and they did the skit, and it was so unfunny because they were so afraid to actually go after them. I mean, here we have dumb as brick Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There's so much fodder, and you think about how they savaged Sarah Palin. And they just made her look like the dumbest woman on earth. Here you actually have this woman who is saying some of the dumbest stuff I think I've ever heard in my life. And I think the worst thing they did with her was she threw her phone at someone and said, "Come after me," or something stupid like that. But they did Maxine Waters. They didn't make fun of her for not knowing where she is half the time. There was all this fodder here that they could have gone after, but they're so afraid to go after Democrats that they don't. And it's just a complete double standard, as you said.
Hey, John, we have just about 30 seconds left. But in closing, who do you predict is the next person to throw their hat in the ring?
Oh, man. 30 seconds. Let's see. I think that we're going to see...
Not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Hillary. I'm not even kidding. I would not be surprised if it was Hillary.
That would be comedy gold. I'd love it. It
really would.
John Miller from White House Brief over on the Blaze and the CRTV. Thanks for joining us this morning, and have a fabulous rest of the day. Watch out for trains.
Appreciate it, Brad. You too.
All right. Brought to you by, of course, Riduzone. Look. And by the way, Jack Holf did a great job last night. If you are, and I'm not even trying to watch what I eat this week, a little stressful. Next week, I am back on the Riduzone. If you're looking for a way to try to shed some of these those excess fat pounds, you tried everything else, go to Riduzone.com. It's not a magic bullet, but what it is a secret weapon. Riduzone.com. Your headlines are coming up next.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As President Trump prepares to visit El Paso, Texas later today to rally support for a border wall, a Friday deadline looms for another possible partial government shutdown. The White House vows the president will build that wall one way or another.
You cannot take a shutdown off the table.
That was acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney on NBC's Meet the Press Sunday, while on ABC's This Week, a pair of congressional negotiators had different takes on their progress. Republican Congressman Tom Gray.
It just seems over the last 24 hours or so, the goalposts have been moving from the Democrats.
But House Budget Committee Chairman John Yarmuth says the White House position has been shifting too.
I think the big problem here is this has become pretty much an ego negotiation. This really isn't over substance.
Mulvaney says President Trump could accept less than the $5.7 billion he's requested for the wall.
Yeah, then what you probably see is the president say, yeah, okay, and then I'll go find the money someplace else.
Ben Thomas, Washington.
A draft impeachment bill circulating among Virginia lawmakers considering the ouster of Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. The move to impeach him prompted by the emergence of two women who accuse him of sexual assault. Fairfax vehemently denies the claims. Afghanistan's government receiving assurances of ongoing U.S. support in its war on terror.
I have not been directed to step down our forces in Afghanistan.
Acting Pentagon Chief Patrick Shanahan making a surprise visit to Afghanistan. He's meeting with U.S. commanders as well as high-ranking Afghan officials. Denver seeing its first teacher strike in about 25 years. Educators hitting the bricks in a pay dispute. Schools will be open today, but they'll be staffed by administrators and substitutes. Wall Street stock futures pointing to a higher open later this morning. Right now, Dow futures up 87 points. S&P futures 9.5 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Thinking about Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. In the case Lee versus Wiseman, the Supreme Court ruled that for an adult to mention the word God at a public graduation constituted both psychological and religious coercion against the students. Yet consider the actions of William Samuel Johnson, a signer of the Constitution and one of America's leading educators who served as the first president of Columbia College. At his graduation exercises, William Samuel Johnson declared to the students, "You this day have received a public education, the purpose whereof hath been to qualify you better to serve your Creator and your country. Your first great duties, you are sensible, are those you owe to heaven, to your Creator and Redeemer." Founding Father William Samuel Johnson believed that a public graduation was an appropriate setting to remind students of the duties which they owed God.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Universal truth number 14, pain sucks. If you haven't yet tried Relief Factor, what are you waiting for? Go to relieffactor.com, get their 3-week quick start pack for just $20 and see if it helps your chronic pain. Relieffactor.com.
Well, let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50. Rebel rousers, instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywags, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, MoJo sexuals. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
I gotta hand it to the Jackholes. I thought they did a great job last night.
Oh, it was fantastic.
The new show on MoJo 50. What's it called?
Off Track with Whiskey Six.
I knew that. I was just
and it was a little bit off track. Whole lot of discussion going on, bouncing back and forth. But you know what? The guys did really, really good.
Yes, they did. And by the way, I wanted to play that voicemail. I thought, that's probably not fair because we haven't said. Although I may change my mind and play the voicemail. Doc would do it, wouldn't he?
Almost.
He would.
Although the person says, I don't want them to know.
I don't want to say my name. Well, it's funny. I don't want to say it, the way the speech to text recognition, whatever it was, did.
It ripped it apart.
It tore it into little tiny pieces, and it said its name was Gloria, which I don't think it was.
No, that was just part of the sentence.
Yeah.
It was just something that it picked up on. But yeah, I mean,
look, we
got that about midway through their show.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This is the very first show.
Yeah.
The guys will hone their capabilities. They'll learn what they've got to do.
They're not that smart. They're not going to.
They'll do fine.
Nah, you know what?
I was really impressed. I mean, Whiskey Six has done a good job putting all of that together. And, so all of the jackholes that were on there and everybody that took
one.
Part.
That
Except
one
that
jackhole, what a jerk.
Yeah, I was thinking
not gonna. But other than that, no, it was a great show, and it is only going to get better with time, and it's going to be every Sunday night from 8 until whenever, right?
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
8 to 10 Eastern,
hours.
Sunday night.
Wow,
yeah.
we're doing that for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, by the way, I only cried twice yesterday.
That's good, dude. You're getting better.
I know.
It does. It comes in waves.
Stupidest little things.
I mean, that's what I was telling Beth yesterday. I sat in here for probably 4 hours on Saturday and 6 or 7 yesterday, and I was here by myself. And we still run Doc's commercials. I can't bring myself to do anything with her.
And over.
I can't look. That's okay.
Over.
But Doc's voice
and over.
Being, I think maybe this was the weekend that it hit me. I guess because I was here by myself working, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when you're alone in a room with Doc, it's a little scary.
It is a little scary.
But I was going to say on our voicemail, we need to and what I want to do if for those who never called Doc's cell phone, he just had his voicemail message was, keep in mind all messages may be read on the air. And I want to get that. And I want to put that.
We need to put that on.
I want to put that on ours, but I want it in his voice so that when people call, you leave him.
Well, we need to get that off his voicemail.
Yeah, we do. I didn't even know I didn't even know we had a call-in number where you could leave a message.
Yeah, we've got.
What's that?
We've got business lines. It's an 800 number.
Is that a comment line?
There is a comment. There's a selection.
Who the hell calls our business line?
There is a selection on the menu for calling in comments.
What, you have to like press 1 for English and then 2?
No. We don't go that far.
3 if you're from
if you're not
the
speaking
Eastern
English,
United
don't
States
call the damn line. But no,
you call it. You just won't understand it.
I guess.
But so you call when you call what? So what's the number?
The 800 number?
Yeah.
800-804-9682.
Wow, that's about as easy as to remember as the other one.
It's right at the top of our website.
All right.
People can call in. There's a show submission selection where people, if they think they've got a show that they want to put on the web.
So wait, is that the link you click on to leave a voicemail?
No, when they call in,
you're
it's
saying
a selection on the
in
menu.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying in addition to being able to leave an idea for a show.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and then they can talk to sales, marketing. I mean, it's a regular business line.
Gosh.
We've had it for 6 months, Brad. You actually have an extension. I'm guessing nobody's ever called you.
Who has landlines anymore? I didn't. What do I need another phone number for?
It's actually not a landline. It's a VoIP. It comes straight to your cell phone.
So I have a phone number. I don't even check email. Why do I want another phone line?
There is that.
Saddle Tramp, what I learned at FYI is that Jack Hole, Real Brad Staggs, Real Rob Phil is proud of it. That FYI is that. I have no idea what that means. Obviously, Saddle Tramp has been drinking this morning.
He was drinking last night, I think.
And Robert said, has anyone procured an ice cream truck for Skip Lacombe? I think we're working on that as well. Again, all of the arrangements are on the MoJo Facebook page. It's everybody's welcome. It's going to be a party for the visitations Thursday, the mass and
Brad, what do I hear outside the window right now?
I'll be damned. That is
that's the train horn.
The 809 Central train coming down the track. It's blowing it. So hell, I can hear it from here. And there
with
you
your
have
headphones on. I heard it with my headphones on.
Wow.
That sucks.
See, I'm telling you, it's a bizarre world in which we live.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
All right, Jack Holes, this portion of your headlines brought to you by TheRichSolution.com. The Rich Solution. You want to lead a healthy life? That's where you'll find it, TheRichSolution.com. The count up to the government shutdown, what are we, T-4?
I think that's right.
I swear to you, in my head, I hear Doc arguing with me about it's
that number of days. It's 3 days.
I'm just going to leave. I'm going to leave a little blank space, and everyone can fill it in. At the top of our headlines, retired Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy has warned the university students that democracy is endangered by the decline of free and open civic debate. I tend to agree with him. We have a social framework of decency that we're very quickly losing, he said. This is according to the San Francisco Chronicle. They were on hand during an event at UC Hastings College of Law. Without that framework, he explained, free societies cannot endure. Elsewhere in his remarks, the Justice bemoaned the egocentrism that the cyber age has brought upon us. Spoken like a true attorney. The egocentrism, it's a bad thing. Cyber age, bad, very bad. But he's right. That's the thing about it. No one is civil. No one can debate anymore. You're either, if you like one candidate, the other side is going to call you every name in the book and, light your lawn on fire. I'm telling you, Mars attacks or Yellowstone erupts are only two options. 3 police officers arrested a woman in front of her children and locked her up for 7 hours after she referred to a transgender woman as a man on Twitter.
Are you serious?
I'm going to read that again.
Oh, my God.
3 police officers arrested a woman in front of her children and locked her up for 7 hours after she referred to a transgender woman as a man on Twitter. Kate Scotto of Hitchin, Herefordshire, that's across the pond, was arrested by 3 officers at her home. She had her photograph, DNA, and fingerprints taken after she was reported by a transgender activist for dead naming.
Dead naming.
What the hell is dead naming? What is? Do you know?
I've never heard of that. I thought you were about to say dehumanizing.
No, dead naming.
Never heard of it.
There's a new one. Scotto says that officers took her mobile phone and her laptop. They served her with a court order preventing her from referring to her accuser, Stephanie Hayden, as a man. Stephanie Hayden kind of looks like a man to me.
Was Stephanie Hayden a man before?
Yes. Before the...
then there was nothing wrong with what she said.
The snip. What is that when you go from a man to a woman? Oh, that's a Punjab. Punjab. Sorry. It's not the addictomy, it's Punjab. Scotto was accused of a campaign of targeted harassment of using 2 Twitter accounts in 2 different names to harass Hayden.
Wow. Now, harassing, that's a little bit different, but calling her...
Remember, the only way to not be offended is don't be offended.
Exactly. It's only on you.
Sticks and stones. Good grief.
Stop being a puss.
We need to put that on a rock and refer to it every now and then. Sticks and stones. A trapper was called to a Florida woman's home when a 9-foot alligator trapped her inside the house. See, now this is the alligators fighting back. Victoria McAllister said she was prepared to leave her estates at Silver Ridge Orlando home on Thursday when she discovered a large gator right outside her garage door. She had to contact the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. They sent out a trapper. The trapper trapped the alligator, and then they ended up having to shoot it because it was acting unusually aggressive, making a live capture too dangerous to risk. That's because it's an alligator. And that's what they do.
Jeez.
They bite things and they eat them.
That's like owning a tiger.
Yeah, well, and I don't think this was her pet, but it just somehow it's in Florida and they have them there. But if there's a video, if you do, again, YouTube, an alligator eats alligator arm. It's a video of all these alligators kind of, swarming around in a little pack like they do, and the guy's feeding them. It's at not a petting zoo, but you get the idea. And one of the alligators walks by another one, and as he does, his arm touches the other alligator's jaw, the bottom jaw, alligator's open. The other alligator clamps down on this alligator's foot and starts doing the death turn and snaps the alligator's arm off and eats it. And the alligator whose arm has just been bitten off turns to the first alligator. Is like, dude, that's my... He's what?
Hungry much, bitch?
And he turns around and he slinks off to the water. It is the weirdest thing. Wow.
That's hilarious.
Alligators apparently don't have much of a conscience.
Not at all.
In Nashville, police had to use Little Debbie snacks to catch a loose chicken. They used oatmeal cream pies to lure a loose chicken that led officers on a wild chase through the city's downtown. Gotta love Nashville. Witness Phil Breedlove captured video of the, we'll tweet that out, of the loose chicken blocking traffic Thursday morning being chased through a busy intersection. It's a chicken. At some point, you just run over the chicken.
I started to say, you run over it, you
stop.
eat it.
Yes, you grab it fast after you've hit it, and you can pluck it and eat it that night. They were able to finally grab it using the oatmeal cream pie, and they are taking care of the chicken until it can be turned over to an animal rescue group. Why not just give it to Popeye's Chicken and spice it up?
Pass it along.
Just saying, it's a chicken. That's what they're for. Sponsor this go around, The Rich Solution. Here's the funny thing. I've been trying to find factoids about vitamins and stuff. And you know what? You can get so mired down in the lore and the misinformation and the this and the that. And really what you need is somebody who knows all about supplements. And that's what The Rich Solution is all about. And well, you've heard us talk about Adam in the past, and Gwen, who went through not only the cancer scare, but then the falling down a flight of stairs, which was again not on the list of ways to die. That was either easy or sucky, but that would be a bad one. Falling down because she dodged a bullet there twice.
Oh yeah.
So to say that Adam and Gwen have done research on supplements and things that are good for you is to put it mildly. This guy. He's a little obsessive when it comes to research. Don't tell him I said that. But if you want to get the information, if you want to find the best supplements for you, I recommend you at least take a look at therichsolution.com, and my personal favorite, of course, the Better Sex for Women Over 50. I didn't say better sex with women over 50. I said better sex for women over 50. Hang on, I'm looking for the adaptogens. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you got to get your adaptogen on this morning. Or
So
in.
the Rich Adapt solution here. This is, you can hear the dropper. I don't have to worry about Doc Thompson slobbering all over the dropper either. He'd always take a drop of it
it's like
and hand it to me.
Suck it like a straw.
What the hell's wrong with you? You just put that in your mouth. Now I'm supposed to... I don't have to worry. Add that to the list of things I don't have to worry about anymore. And by the way, the temperature in the studio is perfect. So, nah. It's too cold in here. That's all I'd ever hear.
He was a little hot-natured.
Whiny. RichSolution.com. If you want to make a little healthier life for yourself, have a little stress, go to RichSolution.com. AAF was on. Did you watch any of the AAF football game on Saturday night?
I did not.
They drew millions of viewers on CBS. They actually 3.2 million people.
Is that an arena league?
That is the new league that is supposed to be like the up and comers, kind of like the
but
the
it's AAF.
Yes,
What's
the
the acronym?
American the Alliance of American Football.
Oh,
they let's see, it was the Orlando Apollos and the Atlanta Legends and the San Antonio Commanders and the San Diego Fleet.
Now, Brad, this is not arena, right?
This is regular. This is
the up and coming to
big old football. It's
take
like
down the NFL.
Yep, it's like it's not the NFL. I guess they're working with the NFL.
Oh,
they beat the NBA game on Saturday night. It was kind of weird because I was having dinner with Jeffy and Jeremy and Keith, and football was on.
Yeah,
and usually,
it's
after
gone.
after
the Super Bowl,
and after the crappy All-Star game,
that's a fact.
That thing, why do they even bother doing?
But
that?
you know what? I guess maybe it's because nobody on the AAF
AAF
has kneeled yet.
Not yet. Oh, that's coming. That you got.
So all of the people who were boycotting the NFL,
yes, and that's
are like,
why
okay, let's watch the AAF.
I haven't seen a pro football game in years. I got disgusted with them. So if you watched them, you weren't alone. There were a lot of people watching. Up in Columbus, a man who was revived after an overdose by police got up off the ground, then got into their car and stole it, and then crashed it. Police in Ohio's capital city, that being Columbus, say a man stole their police cruiser just minutes after the officers revived him from an overdose. They, on Friday, were searching for the 25-year-old man who crashed the cruiser and then ran away. Yeah, that would... I think that would be a Friday leftover.
He was on hallucinogens.
I think so.
Has to be.
Whatever it was good. They revived the man. They put him in an ambulance while officers checked whether he had any outstanding warrants, and he gave them a reason to have another one. Jumped in their car and took off. I guess he's okay. Car, however, not so much. I think it's all time we move to Sweden. They have a unique leave of absence system that allows you to launch your own business. For the last 2 decades, full-time workers with permanent jobs have had the right to take a 6-month leave of absence to launch a company or alternatively to study or to look after a relative.
Wow, Brad, that would not have been long enough for us.
No, but it sure would have been nice, wouldn't it? It would have been a little extra breathing room. Bosses can only say no if there are crucial operational reasons they can't manage without a staff member. First bell.
There you go.
Are you happy now? I'm trying. This is hard. This is so much harder than digging ditches or
Damn,
doing
you missed the
sweaty
bell on
work.
that one, too.
See how I told you this was hard? Chimpanzees created a makeshift ladder to escape a zoo enclosure. This is in Northern Ireland. A group of chimpanzees used tree branches to break out of their enclosure at a Northern Ireland zoo on Saturday. They appeared to use storm-damaged branches, created a makeshift ladder. They scaled the walls of the enclosure. They were up and they were out of there.
Yeah, they were. They were riding a scooter carrying a midget.
I'd pay good money. My friend Linda Lyday would love that. She has a thing, which was why I posted that picture, by the way, on Facebook. Spot the midget.
Oh, that was great.
And by the way, did anybody find? I didn't notice whether anybody saw it.
But I knew what I was looking for because I remember when you
have
took
to look really
Who
close.
took the picture?
I don't know.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, that was funny.
That's the last pictures of me and Doc. and a midget. And as a matter of fact, I think it's the only picture of me and Doc and a midget. A little girl on the video that one of the people videotaping these monkeys said, "Don't you escape, you bad little gorilla."
Oh, yeah, that worked out well.
Other chimps remained in the trees in the wall of the enclosure while some guests were shocked at the sight. It's a zoo! There's monkeys there. Yep. Why would you be shocked at the sight of monkeys? People say the damnedest things. I think she's scared and did sort of make its way back up the hill, they said, of one monkey. It's easy to think it was funny after the encounter, but that experience is still quite dangerous. Yes, it is, because a monkey will eat your face. It's happened. On a lighter note, veterinarians in Stillwater, Oklahoma fixed a puppy whose paws were pointing up instead of down. When you're having a bad day, think of this poor little puppy. Born with his front paws facing up instead of down, so he's unable to walk around. That would suck.
How do you fix that?
You
surgery?
You
go
sharp knife and
Let me
some
help
stitches.
you out, buddy. Flip him
Turn him over. Here, little guy. Here, turn your little paw like you're walking on the Thompson. Hey,
the puppy goes,
thanks. That's a whole lot easier walking on like that. Thank you.
What the hell?
They took it was a 10-week-old puppy named Milo. He had elbows. I guess they did it in the elbows.
Yeah.
January 9th, they did this in Stillwater. It doesn't say how long the operation took, but it was paid for by a group called Oliver and Friends Farm Sanctuary. Everybody loves puppies. It's a very, very happy puppy now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That is a story finally with a happy ending. You know, 80% of we told you 80% of people 18 to 24 sleep with their phone. Study showed more women, 76% of women use their smartphones in the bathroom compared to men, 74%. They were more attached to their phones as compared to women. People are really addicted to their phones.
Do you use a phone in the bathroom, Brad? Don't lie.
Those records are sealed.
I have a little shelf in my bathroom.
Those records are sealed. Back when there were landlines, I had 2 or 3 friends that had a landline in the bathroom, and I thought, what the hell? What is so important?
Exactly.
That you can't spend 5 minutes or even 30 not talking on the phone.
No, that's when your sphincter jacks up and you have to call the police.
Bizarre.
I don't ever want to have to call them while I'm on the
That'd be
toilet.
Dr. Ken. We'd be Dr. Ken Brown. That's who the guy. We'd be on the phone to him.
I'm having sphincter spasms.
Whether you want to use your phone in the bathroom, in the car, wherever you want to use it, just go to patriotmobile.com/doc. Here's the thing about Patriot Mobile. First of all, they share your conservative libertarian values. Number one, they are not big mobile. Number two, so in the case of Big Mobile, where they are giving part of your cell bill money every month to causes like Planned Parenthood and other things you probably do not support, out in the real world, that is not what Patriot Mobile does. No. If you go to patriotmobile.com/doc, a portion of your cell phone bill every month is going to go to like the NRA or Freedom Works or Tea Party Patriots, other conservative causes that actually value America and American values, the Faith and Freedom Coalition. And that's not all, by the way. You can also, let's see here, you get credit for your old account, up to they'll pay it off, up to $500 a line. You can bring your own phone, your own number. You can get a new phone, new number if you're hiding from the police. Really doesn't matter. And there's a 10% discount for active duty military veterans and first responders, and they're going to waive your $30 activation fee.
Yeah, guys, if you're worried about, Patriot Mobile and, having a signal wherever you go, look, they're on one of the largest backbones in the country. Patriot Mobile is a good.
They're one of the goodest.
They're one of the goodest.
They are one of the goodest.
They're a good company. I mean, they're made up of good people. I mean, these are genuine, honest. We've met Maury and his staff, and they're
for
great.
That one guy.
Except for the one.
If you get him, watch out. PatriotMobile.com/doc. Do something good for the country and for yourself. It is Monday, February 11th, 2019. There are 630 days until election 2020, at which point Donald Trump will neither be president nor a free man, according to Elizabeth Warren. Jennifer Aniston is 49 today. Thomas Edison would be 171 years old.
We need a whiteboard. I thought about putting a whiteboard in there to just start listing all of the idiots running for president.
Why does it have to be white? What is wrong with you?
Okay, a blackboard.
We have a blackboard out there that is just fine.
Where?
I mean, where? It's in the room right down there.
Oh, it's in one of these other offices?
Well, it's ours.
Oh, I know,
it's a
but
big
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Burt Reynolds would be 82 today, but he's dead too.
Yeah.
I wonder if he and Doc have had a conversation yet. We need to start writing down the people that Doc has had a chance to meet.
Doc and the Bandit.
Doc, he'd be, yeah. That'd be interesting. Alex Jones is 44 years old today. In 1937, GM signed their first auto workers contract, which is, of course, continued to bring quality and long life to those cars ever since. And in 2012, I want to guess, that's 7 years ago.
7 years, yeah.
Guess who died 7 years ago?
I have no idea. Lucille Ball.
Whitney Houston. She's been dead now for 7
years?
Did you say Lucille Ball?
Yeah, I thought.
She's been dead for like 30.
No.
Yes, she has. Lucille Ball's been dead for a long time. A long time. It was Whitney Houston.
I don't know that that's been. I don't know that she's been dead for a long time.
It's been a very long time that Lucille Ball's been dead. For those of you who don't know who Lucille Ball is, just remember, Ron is just not all there. I do again.
No, look, I don't have that knowledge like Doc did. I can't just pull that out of my butt.
Wow.
Doc would throw something out, and it would be right 99% of the time.
And by the way, for those of you who saw the tweet this morning of the old person's home candy sitting out here on the table, I found out who brought it in.
That was me.
That would be the old guy.
That was me.
Right across the glass.
My mom had an extra box full of candy. And she said, "Do you want this for the office?" I said, "Yes, let me take it up there."
It's Werther's Original, and you find those.
You know you like them, Brad.
I do like them. Shut up. When we had to drop something off over at Doc's niece's office on Friday afternoon, and they had Werther's chocolates in a little bowl in the front, and I thought, old people's candy. I got a handful of those bad boys. I like.
There's
Werther's.
like 12 bags of them out here. 12 or 16.
But those aren't the chewy ones. Those are the ones that'll break your teeth.
Yes, they are.
So, well, if you want to stop by the studio, we'll be happy to hand you a Werther's Original. Those are your headlines, my friends. We will have, we've got more Vintage Doc coming up, and I don't know. We'll just see what happens next. This is MoJo 50.
The Radio Revolution, MoJo 50.
Hey, guys.
OMG, everyone. Did you hear the news over the weekend about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's invitation from model Chrissy Teigen to watch the Grammy Awards? I know, right? On Saturday, Teigen tweeted out her personal invitation to AOC saying, quote, "Hello, my hero. Do you want to come over and watch the Grammys with us? There will be pizza." AOC tweeted back a very enthusiastic, quote, "Yes, we can live tweet me burning something in the kitchen. I have a suggestion. What about burning the candle at both ends in Congress to improve the plight of Americans in a rational way?" What a sad day we have arrived at in our country when a congresswoman and a model become besties on social media and tweet to each other like two giggling high school girls. It would be humorous except for the fact that our country is being pushed even farther to the left by those like AOC who don't have a clue as to why those on the right won't accept her, quote, brilliant ideas. Every time she speaks, it's a reminder she and others like her don't value what this country was founded upon, but rather want to transform it into something they view as better. Our country was dragged down for 8 years by a president who made it his personal mission to change this country so that it was unrecognizable. Now AOC and other Democrats want to continue taking America into a downward socialist spiral with fresh faces and even dumber ideas. Oh, by the way, there's no word yet as to whether AOC and Teigen plan to hold a sleepover for the rest of the members of Congress in the near future. I'll keep you posted. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org. m25m.org.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become National Senior Advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9.
MoJo 50.
The Daily Mojo.
Lucille Ball died in 1989.
I know. It just feels like yesterday.
That would be 30 years ago.
For some reason, I thought she lived longer. I'm sorry.
Wow. And thanks for looking that up, Marcia and Karen. and everybody else. Appreciate that. No, it was Whitney Houston, 7 years. I'm
Whitney
telling
Houston.
you, time flies.
Now, was it Whitney that they found in the bathtub?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep. They found her in the
Yeah,
bathtub.
but it was their daughter too,
Yeah.
correct?
Something
Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
But I forget her first name.
Yeah. Not it was a year or two after that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been rough times. Pink Floyd says today's the first time I've tried to listen in since last Wednesday. What a week. You're a hell of a guy, Brad Staggs. I know.
We have to tell him every day.
It's in my contract. They have to. Actually, it says that on my dressing room door. Strange that you used to say that. And I'm sorry. Actually, Pink Floyd was in town over the weekend. I had to leave on Sunday, and if I had had time, I would have absolutely gotten together. I swear to you. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to that. Remember, don't look me in the eye when you see me. Saddle Tramp chicken causes traffic troubles in Nashville. These things didn't happen when Colonel Sanders was alive. No, that's true. Harlan Sanders, he made sure those things did not. He plucked every plucking chicken he could find.
I watched the thing on. You remember that show How It's Made?
Yeah.
This weekend I watched a little snippet, I guess it was, of Grant Imahara. What was he on? He was on Grant Imahara. He was on with I can't remember what the show was that we would watch on like the Discovery Channel or something like that. Adam, I can't remember. Anyhow,
no, work it out. Come on,
I was trying to work it out.
Work it out. You've got
my
this.
old
Keep
ass
going.
mind won't let me do it.
Going.
But anyhow, he was walking through the Tyson plant, and they were showing how chicken McNuggets were made for McDonald's, and he showed him this picture of this slimy goop, and he said, "Is this anywhere in here?" And she said, "No." Then they went through it, and I just thought it was, I don't know.
That is a great story. Tell me the middle part again.
I'm not telling you anything.
Rancid Izzo tweeted, chickens love cream pies. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, especially the Little Debbie ones. Here comes Matt Locke. Matt had to, what?
Adam Carolla.
No, it wasn't Adam Carolla.
Yes, it was.
What was
it's
Adam
not.
Carolla?
No.
Well, it was the guy walking through the chicken plant with the name of the gentleman you used.
No, Grant Imahara was.
Yes,
it wasn't.
that guy.
No, he wasn't with Adam Carolla.
Work it out.
He was on a
You
show
can
with
do it.
Adam and
Think
Jamie.
through it.
What's the show with Adam and Jamie?
Adam and Jamie who?
Adam and Jamie.
Adam
Come on,
Carolla.
guys. Somebody will tell me what that show is called.
It's
I think
okay.
we
He's
just did.
old.
It's
He's
not-
old.
it's
30
not-
years
Have a
old.
seat, Matt.
It's not Carolla.
Well, it's
Adam and Jamie. They would build stuff.
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters. Thank you.
We knew you'd work through
Grant
it
Imahara
eventually.
was on Mythbusters. Adam, his
And
name's
what
Adam.
was it that they were proving?
That chicken McNuggets weren't freaking
Chicken McNuggets?
chicken McNuggets.
Oh, there it
And
is.
egg muffins?
Egg
muffins and chicken nuggets?
nuggets.
I'm stopping to talk now.
Work through it.
I
Work
can't
through
even
it,
say
new guy.
that sentence right.
All right.
No,
So
they were-
you're doing it. Doc would be proud.
He would.
Look,
Doc
He
would
would
be proud.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Matt Locke, who follows this program immediately following and will delve much deeper into politics.
A little.
Because you don't mind.
I got to get into the camera here. There I am. Oh, there I am.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, we might make sure
Sorry,
people
this
see
one
it.
here needs to be moved.
That's all right.
Yeah, well.
I'm just fat. I'm a lot less fat. I weighed in this
Have you
morning.
been-
I cheated, so I weighed in. I normally weigh in on Wednesday. I am officially into the 250s. I haven't
That's
seen
good.
that number in a few years.
That's cool.
How
Because
have
you were
you-
like,
have you-
didn't you start at like 270 something?
Almost 273.
Even through all
Fantastic.
this stress?
Well, I haven't, and that's the
Are
problem.
you a stress eater
Oh,
or a
I
stress
am.
starver?
Starver.
Oh no, I'm a
yeah,
stress eater.
So for the last 10 days, I've been living on whiskey. Just saying.
That helps.
Now, my wife this morning, she saw the video of Doc. God, I sit there and say that. Brad
How
running next to
dare
the
you
train.
compare me to that?
Dude,
And-
it kind of freaked
and-
me out, and I'm
you know what
thinking to
she
myself,
says?
why would you take the chance on running?
Did you see her comment?
No, what'd she say?
She says, "Should I comment? Have you had your caramel M&Ms yet?"
Oh,
She knows.
Yeah.
Oh, she knows. And then he shaved his face. Look at him. He looks.
He's got a baby face, Brad.
He does look a
But
little
you know,
baby
I
faced.
asked him when he got here. I said, Brad, that was a great video.
It
Good
was
timing.
funny.
Wasn't too soon. Nothing like that.
You didn't think this was going to happen,
But
right?
how many times did you look for a train before you got
Oh,
it?
my head was on a swivel. I was looking back and forth.
Was that an active train track?
Yeah,
that was the train track.
Oh,
That was
gee.
literally, what,
Jeebus.
20, 30 feet down
Yeah.
from where Doc got hit?
Oh, wow. I did not know that. 'Cause
Yeah.
my wife keeps saying, so here's the deal, and I don't know if this sounds really weird or not. My wife's like, Ron knows the location of where this happened. I said, yeah. She says, have you been there? I said, no. She's like, are you going to go? I'm like, no.
I'm telling you, it sounds weird, but this is...
It's in my mind, it's morbid.
It's closure.
It is.
I know, but closure. I know a train hit him.
You roll around. I'm telling you, you go there and you submerge yourself in it and you stand there
and you think
look.
about it and you investigate.
Yes.
And you go through all of the emotions and then you start looking for stuff.
We stood there, and
I'm out.
We stood there and we looked down, but here we figured out exactly what he did. I mean, he's up on the raised part of the bed.
You figured what his thought process was running that day, which is
the mistake was the earbuds. That was the mistake. He'd run that route before,
and I think
I had said that before.
Right,
he has probably ran that several times
without a doubt,
and never been a problem.
Here's the thing. It was the timing of the run, obviously, and the schedules of the train. But I think he looked down that track before he got on.
Sure he did, because those Amtrak. No. But
coming.
Amtrak, those trains go upwards of 80 mile an hour,
and they're quiet.
And they are. They're not like a normal. No. And I read somewhere
you don't hear the.
Well, that's
the steam whistle.
They have here, and they don't have this in Indiana, but in Texas they have the non-whistle, the non-horn
quiet zones.
Yes, thank
you.
The
non-whistle trains.
The non-whistle trains.
This is a quiet zone.
It's a quiet zone, so they can't blow because when Ron's house burnt, got hit by lightning.
That's a sign from God, by the way.
No kidding.
I'm never spending the night at your house.
Right. But they put Ron up, and I was staying with Ron at the time because I hadn't moved my wife down yet. They put him up in a rental place right by the train tracks. And where that went through, they could not blow their horns. So you didn't hear.
You can hear the rumble, but that's it.
That's all you could hear, right? You would never know the train, and the Amtrak's even worse.
I will tell you that we've been told that the Amtrak has a video of it. It doesn't show the moment of impact, but it does show up to that point, and that they were sitting on the horn.
Well, that's kind of a stupid thing to do. Sit on it. Why don't they just push the button and blow?
Okay, right? Sit on it. Jeez.
I don't want to see the video. I want to hear that. I want to hear that horn was blowing.
Yeah,
at least
I guess.
But you think about it now, and we look back onto this. First of all, he was jogging. God, who runs? By the way, who wants to run?
Bad for you.
Yes,
I was just telling you the story last week of Jim Fix, the runner who died.
Right.
So,
but secondly, he had just gotten those new in-ear.
The ones that fill your ear canal.
And they're in there tight because there's nothing that keeps,
And he listens to his music at a blaring level.
Oh, well, of course. Because
I stood there. I turned the music on my phone. I didn't have any earbuds, but I stuck the phone right up to my ear in one ear and plugged the other ear. When a train went by, I couldn't hear.
No,
we did find some souvenirs.
Okay.
Brought home the
yellow tape.
The caution tape from the scene.
That was the one that was on the tree, right?
That was on the tree, tied around. And part of an earbud.
Yeah.
It was on the ground.
Jesus.
And I know it's to some people who, if you're a jackhole, you get it.
Yeah.
If you're not, you don't get it.
I mean, I get it.
But here's the thing. It is, like you said earlier, Ron, it's cathartic to get over there and just to waller in it and really immerse yourself in it, because otherwise it makes no sense.
Well, but that's the thing. We are an investigative people, and we want to figure out what's going on. What was he thinking? Why was this happening?
Right.
And when you get over there, you can't help but think it. You're looking down the track. You're looking both directions. You look at did he shortcut his route along the tracks to get, because
if you jog down along the lower part of it there, you could twist an ankle, and you don't want to twist an ankle.
No.
Think about
that. You just want to get hammered by a train.
That'd be painful.
Well, you got to think also, the other thing is he's running outside the track on the ties, because they extend past the track.
Yeah.
He was running on the ties, so you've got to concentrate where your foot placement is.
True. Or you sprayed another ankle.
And again, we've said it here. Dumbass move.
Yeah.
Don't run on train tracks, especially not with earbuds. But any of the three of us who has not texted while driving?
Oh,
I do it every day.
My wife yelled at me the other day about it. She's like, "Give me that phone."
That is just as stupid, probably dumber,
right? Probably
than running on a railroad track.
Now
because
I've started using my radio. I have a new radio in there that allows me to talk to it.
Ron has all the good stuff.
But I've started using that. But yeah, I used to do it every day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I have too. We're all guilty of going down the road and sending a quick text. And normally I try not to, but when I do text, it's a short text, but it's never, you shouldn't be.
I've heard that about you.
That's what I heard too.
What's that in your hand there, Bradley?
I'm not Izzo.
Oh, that was the other thing. Going
Some
through
vaginal cream?
all of the close. Going through Doc stuff, I found some pain relief cream. He's not going to need that anymore.
No, he's not.
Nope, so
No,
I'll keep that.
I'll tell you what's so amazingly ironic of all of this. Brad was talking about it this morning. The countdown has started to the government's going to shut down on the day of Doc's funeral. It's coming.
Is that Friday?
Oh,
Friday.
man,
Okay.
that would be so appropriate.
And it will. No, think about it. It is appropriate. The government is going to shut down on the day of Doc's funeral. It will.
The ironies involved in all of this are stunning. First of all, did you hear the statistic? Your odds of being
you read that? That's insane.
One in 1 billion.
Almost 2 billion.
9 billion, or excuse me, one in 1.9 billion. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Chance.
Almost 2. And those are old stats, so I guarantee
you have a better odds. You have better odds winning the lottery.
Like I said, in addition to the pain relief cream, I found 1, 2, 3, 4 lottery tickets in his stuff.
I wonder if he checked them.
So Brad,
I don't know, but I'm going to.
So Brad, I know you came by the office, the studio this weekend, and you picked up his car.
Yeah. Oh yes, the plans for that.
Oh yes.
First of all, what a pig.
Was the car pigged out?
Good grief.
Doc was living in his car.
My wife does it. Love you, honey, but my wife and her car drives me nuts. She'll use the side door as a wastebasket.
Are there underpants in your car?
No.
There's nothing in Matt's car.
I'm going to leave it right there.
Matt used to bitch at me. Get that cup out of here.
Oh yeah, I am weird about my car.
That doesn't shock me at all.
No, I mean, and my wife will come home and we'll jump in her car. And she'll have trash in the door and shit on the floor and stuff in the back. And it's like, would you clean this pigsty out?
Look, my truck might look like that right now.
Listen.
Although I think I did stop and throw it
I'm crazy. That's the one thing, and I don't know where that comes from, but there's never anything in my car. It is normally
nice to have
spotlessly clean.
Lately, I've been trying to do that with mine too, but let me just tell you, his pigsty, and we are going to do, I think I'm going to wait till we get back, but we're going to do a Facebook Live cleaning that thing out.
Is it at your house?
There is no telling
not
what you will find.
Oh, okay.
There's no telling. You can't see the floorboard on the passenger side.
Oh, jeez.
Oink, oink.
Well, he was the only one that rode in it, I'm sure. I mean,
there wasn't room for anybody else. There was too much trash.
There was barely room for him to get in it.
I don't know how he fit in that skateboard. I tried getting. I mean, just getting through the door is what a. Oof.
He was a contortionist.
He really
couldn't get out of the way of a train, but he can get into that fit.
I know Beth said that she stopped. Was she driving?
Yes.
Yeah. She said she stopped to fill it up with gas.
Oh, this is great. It was empty. It cost $17 to fill it up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a little Honda Fit.
And that thing will run forever. That little skateboard would drive all the way to, Illinois and back.
Now,
this was his mom's before it was his.
Yes. Because every panel had a dent in it.
I think it was his mother-in-law's, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes. His mother-in-law's. Yeah. It was Eunice's mother's car.
Right.
Yes.
And believe me, it is complete with dents from the garage.
Everywhere. It's got a dent in every panel of it. So that's the Korean Asian way.
We have a little plan for it, and we'll reveal that probably next week. But
nice.
We will start with the Facebook Live, just cleaning it out, because that will be an adventure. And whoever is going to do the cleaning along with me is going to have to wear gloves, because there's probably sharp objects in there. What are you talking about on your little show coming up after the Daily Mojo?
Well, Q's back in the news.
Is he?
Oh,
them are back. There were several Q posts over the weekend, so they're back, and it all revolves around William Barr and the Whitaker hearings. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about.
Did you watch any of that?
I did. I was laying around yesterday, just doing some show prep and watching the golf, and the Whitaker questioning was pretty funny.
Mr. Chairman, I see that your 5 minutes are up.
Yeah.
I heard
the guy has got the biggest set of balls I've ever seen, but this is the way you handle children. You slap them on the hand and say, you know what, because Rush talked about it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. All that was trying to get an active attorney general into a process crime. All they're doing is setting trap after trap after trap to get him to say something wrong, and he wouldn't do it. Because they're smart people. See, the Democratic Party thinks they're smarter than you and I are, so that if they ask these really catchy questions or these gotchas, they're going to get the information they want. So I'm going to go over that a little bit. Q's back in.
There's
Bar,
a video of all the snippets.
Oh, yeah.
Where everyone said yes or no question, yes or no answer, yes or no answer.
Oh, he wouldn't answer them.
And he wouldn't give a yes or no.
That's a great question, sir or ma'am, but I just can't answer that for you right now.
There you go.
And it was, he drove them nuts because their only goal is to run Trump out of the office. And they think this is the pathway to it.
According to Elizabeth Warren, Trump will not only not be president in 2020, he won't be a free man.
I heard your interview with, was it John Miller?
John Miller. So
from CRTV Blaze. Yeah, very nice interview, by the way.
We'll see about that. All right, so that's
I'll
coming
get the hell out of your way here. It's funny.
Cartel. We'll actually, we're going to go back in time here again. This is from WTVN Radio. It's in Virginia. And again, we've going through all of Doc's old tapes, and this is a few minutes with Doc and Brian. And let me just tell you, they're pretty doggone funny.
It's the Saturday Night Freak Show with Doc and Brian.
Colorado Springs, Colorado. Some folks thought that UFOs might be beaming signals to their garages, causing them to randomly open and close, but engineers say they've now pinpointed the source of the mysterious interference, and you know what? It's not UFOs.
Huh. It's the dog, isn't it?
No, it's a faulty FM transmitter near their house that is triggering their remote control signals.
That's crazy. Huh. So anytime the little kid next door turns on the radio.
It's gotta be UFOs!
It's the aliens!
Oh, they're coming!
Next they'll be giving us rectal probes! Oh, no!
You could have more fun with these people just showing up dressed like aliens in the middle of the night sometime.
Hello, we wanted to see what was in your garage.
Give us money, or we will rectally probe you. We will take you aboard our ship.
And believe me, the openings and closings of your garage door will not cease. They will not cease.
I can handle the rectal probes, but just please stop opening and closing my garage door.
Open, shut, make up my mind. We have sat in your dusty lawn furniture. We have touched your jarts. Now it is time for the rectal probe. With your jarts.
Those are lawn darts, right?
Those no longer exist, man, because people were getting those things stuck in their chests. You know?
Vecchio, who was impregnated by artificial insemination, wants sole custody of her daughter on claims that same-sex marriages are not recognized in the state of California.
Holy moly.
That is a brand new custody case for the 90s. That has never happened before.
There are so many strange situations coming out.
I just found out I'm married to a woman.
No, you've got all kinds of strange situations in court now. You got the whole sex change thing. You got people that are freezing semen and eggs in that until after somebody's dead and families fighting over that. You've got surrogates fighting over custody. You've got switched babies where they're fighting over, even though I am the biological parent, but they raised it until they were 4. I mean, there's
you know what
so
you
much
do?
of that.
How about this? How about if you can't put your boy into her girl and go and make a baby that way? Oh no, I'm totally laying it out there. That is the way babies should get made. You can't do that. There are hundreds and thousands of children waiting to be adopted, waiting for someone who's got defective parts to take them into a loving home. That is the way children should be made. All this other stuff leads to court proceedings where you find out that you have 2 mommies.
I'm still caught up in the your boy and her girl and the
I cleaned it up. That's like Disney. That's like
that's the tonight on the Disney Channel. His boy and her girl.
No, they wouldn't do it like that. Tonight on the Disney Channel.
Britney Spears.
Mary-Kate and Ashley. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen discuss sex.
Your boy, her girl.
Wow. I'm telling you, the guy's he's done just about everything. He could go from comedy there. He was at Magic and doing amazing things up at that station. He'd fill in over at the other place. There's not going to be another Doc Thompson. Never will be.
No, and that's why the outpouring of love that we saw occurred, because he was a one of a kind.
I am just thankful I got to know him for the years that I did. Let's see, at least 5 or 6 now, and
6 years. You said,
yeah. It's. This is the biggest reason you never know when the last time you see somebody is going to be the last time that you see somebody. When I walked out of here last Tuesday morning, usually Doc and I would sit out there on the couch and we would talk and go over things. And
he went straight to the production room that day, didn't he?
He went straight in there, and because he was working on something that he wanted to get done.
I know what it was. It's still on the screen. I can't bring myself to remove it.
All right. Well,
it was Sam Sorbo's intro.
Well,
it's up there. And
so it's her fault.
It's not her fault. He and I talked about it that morning, and he was working on that for me for her show that afternoon.
And so I left, and that was literally the last time that we talked here in this room on the air. Y'all saw it.
That was Tuesday morning. Yeah,
those were the last words you saw me saying. Speaking to Doc, those are the last words that I said to him, and you just never know when the last time is going to be the last time.
You know what the words I said to him last were? Have a good run.
Well, that didn't work out so well, did it?
I'm going to stop saying crap like that.
Jogging is bad for you. And again, we've all done stupid things, and we're the first to point, and Doc would be the first to point out that's a stupid thing to do. But we all do stupid things every day.
Yeah.
And you've got to stop and really think about them. You've got to, and they're the little things that I just have to answer this text really quickly.
In my statement over the weekend, I put in there,
the manifesto that you wrote.
The manifesto. So many words, Brad said. If life slows down in the last seconds of life, I'm sure he thought about his family. But then the next thing he thought about was Brad giving him shit. That's going to be on Friday Leftovers this week, Doc.
Yep.
Good job.
The last thought I'm sure was, damn it.
Thanks for the content, brother.
What was the other? Oh, I know what the other ironic thing was. So we had the man versus train billboard out in front of the studio.
Yep.
We had Una with the train story that she had gotten assigned.
Yep.
We have the fact that it is so stupid and mockable getting hit by a train while jogging with your earbuds in. Do you know that when asked what the favorite song was,
I heard that last night.
It was Darius Rucker, Rock Me Gently. Isn't it not Rock Me Gently?
No, it was something Wheel. Something.
Yeah, Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel, yeah.
Great song. And it's Darius Rucker's version. And all I'm going to say is look at the video.
It's nuts.
You combine all of those things with the fact that getting hit by a damn train is a 1 to 2 billion shot.
It was a destiny thing, Brad.
It was.
There were so many things now that we see.
You get stricken with cancer. That is a long, ugly process in most cases.
Yep.
Even if it's pancreatic cancer and you have a month to live, it still sucks balls. It is horrible. It is an awful way to die. It is a horrible, horrible, horrible way to go. It is long. It is painful. It is, damn it. It is all of those things. It's hard to find the humor in that. I can find the humor all over getting hit by a train, and everybody else can too. And then if you can't fix it, feature it.
Yep.
And
that was his motto.
That's what we're doing. Yep. And by golly, you're going to hear this at the Celebration of Life this coming Friday. And again, it's the details are on the Facebook page. There's only 2 rules, and that is no pictures of Una and the kids.
And no discussion about trains.
And yes, we're not. Here's the deal. Cubby does not know yet. And he knows Daddy has gone to heaven, but he doesn't know the method by which he was dispatched. And we, at this point, are not telling him. So, because poor kid, first of all, he's really into trains.
Well, yeah, him and Doc used to go watch trains.
Yes. And so this will just, talk about a mind F.
As he gets older and he learns.
Yes, he will, of course.
He will understand it better. But right now, his little brain just can't grasp it.
This is Una's wish. We are going to keep, the best way I think to do it is to substitute a word. That's the way Doc would do it. My suggestion was marshmallow. He was hit by a marshmallow. That's comedy right there. But, at least according to me. But Opelka had a really good idea. Big government.
Big government.
Big government hit him. And that's exactly how Doc felt of Amtrak. big government. Let's see. So it was big government full of postal service workers.
Yeah.
He was hit by a mail sack. Beaten about the head and shoulders with a heavy sack of mail. So we will think of some word, and we may just say, look, anything but the word train. So if you're going to talk at the celebration of life, keep that in mind, because we will take you down. The word we hear the word we are going to be like the guy in Vegas at the laser
micro
when Doc got so far as micro pen, and dude came flying in from the side and tackled that. And
he Terry Tated him. That's what I like to see.
Oh, man.
It was funny as hell.
This guy he had to jump to get it out of Doc's hand. Doc is towering over this guy. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Hey there, little buddy. What you do? Oh, got my laser pointer. You can't write micro penis on the wall. Okay, but you didn't say that. So if you do, if we hear the tree, you're not going to get the tree. Someone is flying across that platform, that podium, the table, whatever we're doing it at. They are flying across that thing and taking you down. And then all you're going to hear is a bunch of that. And by the way, that will be the warning signal. Everybody's going to have, I think, 2 minutes to talk. And when you start, believe me, we could talk for hours and hours, but to keep this thing moving down the tracks, we have to make sure that that we keep it to a reasonable amount of time. So when you hear, that means shut up, get off the stage. That's all. So all the details again are on the Facebook page.
Yep, pinned to the top.
And there you have it. The GoFundMe is up to, is it over 130 now?
I haven't looked at it.
I mean, unbelievably generous. Unbelievably generous. Thank you. And the one douchebag who tried to start the fake campaign.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, we shut him down. He's it's not there anymore. So
he set up one that just had GoFundMe.com/justtheword.com.
Yeah, it looked exactly the same,
like it, but used the name James Smith.
Right.
What a doofus.
Yeah, I sent him a little note, said, hey, asshole, we will find you and you will not enjoy it. I tell you what you will enjoy, though. Listen to this segue. MoJo Wild Rice. I could use some of that right now. I'm hungry for some reason. And I had a banana this morning. And some M&Ms. MoJo Wild Rice, though, would have been so much better. Better for me. It could have been... I could have cut that banana up and put it over a bowl of MoJo Wild Rice. Wild rice from the Northwoods of Minnesota. And if you want to spell nostalgia wild rice, that's fine, but I don't even know how many N's are in that. So if you go to mojowildrice.com, you will find all of the tasty, delectable treats that they have to offer. As a matter of fact, I was looking at them a little earlier right here. They have a waffler sample pack. They have a big old, and you can get, these are good for any time of year. Christmas is past, so you don't have to worry about that, but they've got bags and bags of rice and sampler packs and beer jelly samplers and pepper jam samplers and blueberry lovers samplers. Get sticky doing that. If you go to mojowildrice.com, you will find all of the yummy goodness from the Northwoods of Minnesota. And it's a great gift for you or for anyone else. And again, thanks to MoJo Wild Rice for sticking around. Because without you, obviously, we couldn't do any of this. Well, as soon as the president and CEO turns up that little volume knob and we hear music, I didn't call you mister. I apologize.
Jesus Christ.
You can't fix it, feature it, baby. Obsolete man skills coming up in a second. Toxic masculinity right here on your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
This hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Congressional negotiators reporting a fresh stumbling block as they try to come up with a deal on border security funding ahead of the Friday deadline to avoid another partial government shutdown.
Talks are stalled right now.
Republican Senator Richard Shelby tells Fox News Sunday the latest issue Democrats have raised is the number of migrants Immigration and Customs Enforcement can detain.
And they want to cap on them. We don't want to cap on that.
As for meeting the Friday deadline,
I'm not confident we're going to get there. I'm hoping.
We've got people who aren't bomb throwers. They're people who know how to work together and get a deal.
Democratic Senator John Tester tells Fox News Sunday,
I think we're going to end up with something that deals with detention beds, with barriers, with technology, with the challenges we have on the southern border in a common sense way.
Ben Thomas, Washington.
President Trump tweets this morning, the Democrats do not want us to detain or send back criminal aliens. This is a brand new demand. Crazy. Looking to rally public support for a wall, the president later today holds a rally in El Paso, Texas. A draft impeachment bill circulating among Virginia lawmakers calling for the ouster of Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax has been put on hold. The bill's sponsor says it's meant to prompt discussion and will not be introduced right away. Impeachment talk began after two women accused Fairfax of sexual assault. He denies the allegations. Denver public school teachers on strike as of this morning. Math teacher Kathleen Braun says it's all about money. She tells KMGH-TV that young teachers
can't afford to come to work for Denver Public Schools.
The first teacher strike in Denver in 25 years. This is week 2 of jury deliberations in the federal trial in New York of accused Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures pointing to a higher open. Right now, Dow futures up 100 points, S&P futures 9 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You get great service and you do some good in the world with Patriot Mobile. Sign up for a Patriot Mobile account today. Start saving money, get great coverage, and do a little bit of good because they support companies, organizations, and candidates that you like. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. patriotmobile.com/doc.
One man. This is Stephen Airy with Defenders Live. One desire. Is that a Pablo Francisco skit?
That reference is as old as Brad Staggs.
All right, fine. Let's get it over with.
I thought you might see it my way. He's here to give a defense of American exceptionalism.
Arm yourselves, America. It's time for some offensive defense.
Starring B-Rate Tom Cruise.
Dude, I said that my name in the beginning. Pay attention.
In an hour-long epic for the minds of this generation. Do not miss this. Defenders Live on MoJo 50. 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Live free.
Yeah, what he said. MoJo 50, Defenders Live, 9 p.m. Monday through Friday.
The 3, which is a threesome.
Yes.
But a full, I guess, foursome, and then fivesome, and then gangbang.
You're in no man's land.
Yeah.
No, you're in a lot of man's land. A lot of man's.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for, from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Rebel rousers, instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywags, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, MoJo sexuals. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
You can only have more sex with women over 50 if you keep them on the market. Time to start up my new charity. It's a hashtag rich solution. What I learned today at Stock Thompson got run over by a train on Twitter. By the way, the Jackholes are an amazing bunch. Bob blah blah.
Love the Bob blah blah.
Oh, I was just letting Doc say it in space.
I needed to say that for a second.
Being arrested for dead naming a tranny on Twitter is bearded Spock territory. We've fallen into an alternate universe. Chris said, I feel like there's a cock joke in there somewhere, talking about the chicken, of course. Your mojo is touching my jackhole. Little Debbie had a chick, and everywhere that Debbie went, the chick was sure to go. It followed her out of the street one day. I probably should have read that with a bit more iambic pentameter, but that's just what you get when you read them cold. And Adam Bone says, if it were anybody but real Brad Staggs and about anyone but Doc Thompson's show, it would very well be offensive. And if you haven't seen the show for the remember, the only way you can be offended is to choose to be offended. And it's not offensive if it's true. Take a look at the little promo, the Somewhere in Texas bit we did for the show. It is sick and wrong and
Perfect. Jack Hole Spunky Trucker, what I learned, if my business can function without you for 6 months, you might be surprised to find out your position no longer exists.
Well, there is that.
That is what Sweden, who has the policy now where you can, if you're in a job, you are required, your employer is required to let you take 6 months off to start a new business, find yourself, or like care for a sick relative. So might be a time to move to Sweden. All right, I'm going to try this. First comment on the line regarding, and this is back on, we did a list of all the different ways you can die. If you're listening to the podcast, go back and listen to the first hour. It is a list of well over 100 ways to go, and some of the odds of going that way, and some of the nastiest ways that people have thought of to go. Let's see if this person called. Let's see if I can.
Yes, Mr. Staggs. I'm listening to your show on the dailies, your daily MoJo's thing there, and I'm listening to your 100 ways or whatever you're reading off about dying. And I just wanted to say that one of the ways I think I'm gonna wind up dying is listening to that ass hat that you have at night, that Dominic Izzo. I think that's a surefire way that someone like me can die, and I don't want to do it. So I'm gonna listen to you and not him. That is all, sir. Have a great day.
And see, that is the kind of calm, mediated delivery that you really need to use when calling the MoJo comment line. And that number again is 800-804
9682,
which spells absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing.
But it's somewhere at the top of our website, and apparently somewhere where you can submit a show idea too. So who knew you could do all that stuff at one little website, mojo50.com. But yeah, I was reading some of Izzo's tweets over the weekend. One of them was, only Brad Staggs can tell you what you can do with 200 pounds of ground dock.
Oh, snap. Izzo's having such a blast with this.
Izzo is, he fit in so well. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that could have.
That's because he's small. He fits anywhere.
He really
Would you
does.
ring the bell for me? Thank you. Appreciate that.
Damn, there's a lot to do in here. I cannot continue to read all these things. Look this stuff up. Ring a damn bell. So much
Breathe,
work.
Brad, breathe.
I hate Doc Thompson. What a jackass. Leaves me with all this crap. Let's just move on before I have a nervous breakdown. This was in a post on Ask Men. These are obsolete man skills that you should ditch. 7 obsolete man skills and what you can replace them with. I don't know that this person was serious.
I'm interested in knowing what a man skill is.
Oh, it'll make sense in a second.
I could use those probably.
You could use an infusion of man. The man inside me. It's like having a mango in your mouth.
Okay. All right.
You never watched Arrested Development? It's like having a mango in your mouth. They said when you picture a manly man, a guy who every guy wants to be, every woman loves every guy wants to be. Yeah, I mean, Izzo would be a man's man if it wasn't.
I started to say that's why I was thinking.
If it wasn't for that one thing, but other than that, I mean, he's a man's man. He's he's burly. He's got the muscles going on. He's he's got some skill set. I don't know what the hell it would be, but I'm sure he has a skill set somewhere. But kind of the rugged thing, like the Brawny, the guy you see on the Brawny paper towel
commercials.
That's a manly man.
Yeah.
So the first manly skill that is obsolete and what it should be replaced with: hunting. If you're a hunter, they say that was a hugely important skill for much of human history, but in light of the rise of cheap and readily available factory farm meat, hunting's developed relationship to food that we actually eat has disappeared for the overwhelmingly majority of the population. So here's what they suggest. If you are a hunter, if you enjoy going out, and I have a lot of friends who go out and either shoot quail or big game, this is what you need to do. Instead of going out and hunting, you need to learn how to cook for yourself. Average millennial man is probably more adept at ordering dinner online than actually making it, which is too bad. Cooking your own meal is a lot of fun, they say, generally cheaper than eating out or ordering in, and typically healthier. So you are supposed to replace hunting, going out and
killing your own food,
cooking your own. Yes, right. And hey, I've shot one thing in my life, and that was a bird in a tree when I think I was 16. And I went outside because I shot it from my bedroom window with a pellet gun. I went outside. He was sitting there.
Me too, dude. It was a woodpecker.
And I was like, a woodpecker?
I shot a woodpecker.
That answers so many questions. I felt so bad
With
about.
a pellet gun of all things.
I've never really. I mean, I wouldn't mind going hunting. It doesn't bother me at all. I've just never done it.
I did shoot a bobcat once. It was chasing somebody.
That's
so I shot.
illegal.
No, not where I was.
You're a felon. You just admitted on national radio.
We sold
you're a
it.
felon.
We sold the.
Wow, that's 2 felonies. Enjoy. Remember, in prison, you're just going to have to lay there and take it. That's the beauty of it.
That's a man skill, by the way.
That's yes. Well, you'll
Depending on
develop
where you're
that
at.
one well. Number 2 on the list of obsolete man skills: fighting. It's a common conception. They say that at the root of every male confrontation is the possibility of physical violence. Road rage incidents, bar standoffs, guys found themselves in a situation that felt like a prelude to fisticuffs. There's a word you don't hear very often.
I started to say I've watched several in the last, I don't know, couple of months, road rage incidents.
Oh, they're fun too to watch on YouTube.
They just get out of the car
That's
and start beating on each other.
Oh, I bet. Yes. Those are fun. Search for that on YouTube. Search for alligator versus man. I know you've been searching train versus man. But you know what they suggest? Instead of fighting, here's what you're supposed to do. Any guesses? Take a guess.
Wrong. Hug somebody.
No.
I don't know. What?
That's gay. Learn how to mediate. Problem solving with an eye to compromise and healthy conflict resolution is something that by and large men just aren't taught.
That's
growing
right.
up.
And when the mediations break down,
Beat the
their
shit out of them.
ass.
It's all. I would recommend that if you are.
I'm surprised Donald Trump hasn't just taken beating everybody in the room
over the head with a big stick. So I suggest if you are going to try to get out of scuffles and situations as a mediator, you might want to have a secondary backup skill, and that would be a mean right hook. Remember, success is directly proportional to how well you execute Plan B. Every time. The third obsolete man skill that you should replace: repairing your car. I
know somebody who still does that. My brother does that, and he does a very fine job at it.
I just
and that's what Matt's dad did.
Now I can't work on the engine. The engine's good grief. You can't even get to the engine.
Oh, not anymore. But
replacing headlamps and bulbs and
brakes and rotors and all that other stuff. That stuff's all pretty easy. But anything on the engine, I can't do that.
I could change my own oil. I just don't feel like it. Too lazy.
It's too easy now to drive
into oil up underneath your fingernail.
What you call it, lube?
Oh, are we still talking about cars? They say instead of repairing your car, you need to.
Here it comes.
Learn how to code.
See, these things don't even match.
No, this is the 20th century mythos of the car as a vehicle that gave you freedom to cross great distances, to discover new things, to leave your past behind is perhaps now more accurately applied to the internet.
I'll tell you, I know a lot of great coders, though.
How is that a replacement for working on your car?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a skill you can do on your own.
You can't work on your car alone?
That's what I'm saying, because you work on your car alone, and you got to replace it with something. I'm telling you, some of these people, they have no lives, but they code.
Wow. Pretty good chance. But even when you work on your car, you have buddies come over and you hang out and
drink beer. Right. Exactly.
But you got to have your buddies come over and watch you code.
I've seen it happen. They'll have code parties
in their grandmother's basement.
They're drinking Mountain Dew Code Red.
Did you just say code parties?
Code parties.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. That's a heart attack.
Wow, we're in deeper trouble than I thought. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
They drink balls.
Excuse me?
They drink balls. Have you ever seen that drink balls?
Oh, the fizz ball. Yeah.
The blue, it's in the blue bottle.
The blue balls.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Those are actually made here, aren't they?
I think so.
The ones with alcohol in them.
No, they just have a real high concentration of caffeine.
Oh, what the hell good is that?
That's Mountain Dew Code Red and balls. That's really what they live on. Well, maybe in the, what's it, Red Bull? Yeah.
But you can also get them with alcohol in. I've seen those.
Oh, you probably can.
I mean, if it doesn't have alcohol.
But if you're coding and drunk at the same time, oh yeah, those are some of the best apps.
Yeah, and you're less likely to get your hand pinched off by the fan blade underneath the hood. Fixing things at home is number 4. Power tools, such a de facto man thing. Oh, they're about to diss power tools. You've been hard pressed to find examples of women using them in most movies or TV shows. Well, that's because women and power tools go together like alcohol and firearms.
Look, I fix
We
stuff
all
at
know
home
that.
all the time. I know my wife is listening right now. I fix stuff at home all the time. She just doesn't have to keep reminding me every 6 months. I'll get to it.
Mm-hmm. Men are just the mechanics of the world, as with our car maintenance. However, the idea that a man owns his house and should therefore know how to take care of it is increasingly an outdated concept. Damn it, though. I refer back to my use of a ladder.
Have you ever fallen off a ladder?
Yes.
Have you ever had the close call where you're like, holy hell?
If you and here's the key on a ladder, you keep your belt buckle between the two rails.
Yeah.
As long as you keep your belt buckle between the two rails.
And you're not like stretching out to hang Christmas lights on the house.
You try stretching out. If you keep your belt buckle between the rails, your center of gravity will be okay. That's the general. That's the general rule. But yes, and close calls when the ladder starts to shift. Oh yeah, and that's another one. Again, that's another one of the stupid things. You know, you should tie it off, but you don't. Well, Brad ended up on the bed. I know a guy who was actually down in Key West. A friend of mine. Speaking of stupid things, he had a ladder on a roof on the not on the ground, but on the roof. They had kind of a shed roof that was part of an addition, and he was had the ladder on that roof going up to another part of the house, which was higher up. The ladder shifted. He fell probably 15 feet, and there was a white picket fence. And both of his arms, he's alive today, both of his arms went
right
on the pickets. They went right through his arms.
No.
So he's standing there. He can't even get off of the fence because his arms are impaled on the pickets. So all of his weight's there. He had to, and this is how tough this guy is. He had to, first of all, his wife came running out, and of course there's blood everywhere. But he had to keep all of his weight on one forearm and one arm off the picket and hold on with that, and the other arm off the
sound
picket.
Effects, Brad.
And that's a lot like what it sounded like.
This is radio, so you have to do it. I understand. But good Lord.
Let me just tell you. So next time you're thinking about getting up on your roof to fix something, think about my friend and the pickets. Instead, they said, learn how to decorate. Learn how to decorate.
All right, that's where you lost me.
Sort of running gag in contemporary culture, they say that women put a lot of effort into decorating, women and gay men. I'll tell you, live next door to a gay man, you will have fabulous draperies. I know, I've done it. You fill the house with...
What, do they feel like they got to come over and put draperies on your windows? Because...
Oh, you've never heard that story?
No.
Oh, yeah. I've
They're like, could you please
lived in two
stop
houses
walking by the window naked?
They encourage that.
Let me fix that for you.
Back in the day when they encouraged that sort of thing, that sort of activity. I've lived in two different houses where there have been gay neighbors, and the first one, man, that's been 112 years ago. But they was before I was dating my second wife. I lose track of wives. Anyway, but we were dating. They would come over and size you up.
There you go.
And sit there. Look, see, I got the bell. So leave me alone. And the second one, he just, for whatever reason, he decided that he asked, I think it was Beth. I think it was Beth's house. Jimmy next door. Do you think I have a shot with Brad? That's what he asked.
Oh,
and I love Jimmy to death, but it's the boobs thing.
You have boobs?
No,
or he had.
No, it's that's why I could never be gay, because I just boobs.
Oh, I'm
great.
on that. Yeah. What?
You're on that?
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Are we learning something new about you this morning?
Oh my God.
It's boobs.
By the way, she is listening. She's already commented on the whole, you don't have to remind me every 6 months thing. It's great.
So anyway,
it's a boobs thing. You're right.
It is. I don't know. Now I guess you can get implants, but it's a whole different story. So you are supposed to learn how to decorate. It's not as cut and dried as that. The average guy probably has some catching up to do with regards to interior design. It's not something that women are innately better at. After all, it's something that you can make serious strides in by committing yourself to it.
Look, Brad, if you were living in an apartment by yourself, would you have drapes on the windows? The fact that you had to think about that.
I wouldn't use drapes. I mean, I would use,
sheets.
I'm trying to think of, mini blinds.
Sheets, towels. I've used sheets and towels. Oh, yeah. No pictures on the wall.
I will tell you this.
The less I have to clean and deal with, the better.
The best part of, speaking of drapes, I was in Knoxville. We were doing something for DIY, and I was there with Ed Del Grande and a couple of other. Ed Del Grande is the spokesman for Kohler. If you ever see hi, I'm Ed Del Grande. I'm number 1 and number 2. And I just got a texture bed, and wonderful guy, except for that one thing. But we were all drinking one night around the pool at the hotel, and everybody got up and left. It was getting late in the evening, and we continued to drink, and apparently they, at the end of the evening, decided that they were going to pour me into the bed. This is back years ago, at least 2015. Now, it was probably late 1990s, and they put me in bed. I woke up the next morning, buck naked, spread eagle on the bed, ground floor of the hotel in Knoxville, the draperies thrown wide open, and people walking by right next to the pool, probably 15 feet away.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, revenge is a dish best served cold, and I haven't forgotten any of you. Just so you know, and I still know where you live. Continuing the list here of the toxic masculine skill sets that men really don't need anymore. And this is another one that's bizarre. Being a leader. For much of human history, patriarchal societies meant women were expected to stay home and raise children. Yes. And men were expected to run everything else. Meanwhile, there's a good chance your mom wasn't a CEO. Your grandmother almost certainly wasn't. But in today's world, the notion that a man will or must be a leader is increasingly vanishing. What that means is that guys who were brought up to expecting to be in control are now having to accept that their boss is a woman. Instead, they say, here's the skill that you need to hone as a replacement for being a leader.
Learn to make a sandwich.
That's a woman's job. Come on. Instead, learn how to collaborate.
Oh, yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah, that goes back to the right hook conversation.
Yes. Yes, you might want to have that.
Mediate. When collaboration breaks down.
Yes, have that right
crap
hook
out of
standing by. Workplaces of the future are likely to be less relevant on men's top-down leadership and more dependent on open communications between coworkers of all genders, and utilizes a lot of different people's skill sets. Rather than a bunch of guys all competing to nail down a corner office, a healthy workplace is one where ego takes a back seat to communal success. Isn't that nice?
Now, I'm sure the answer to this question is probably in the affirmative, but you've worked in radio, and that's why. But have you ever worked for a company where the men don't want women in positions of authority?
Have I ever worked in a company where men don't want women,
or don't like them, or just can't deal with them in positions of authority? Fortunately for me, I've not. I've always been around strong women in my life.
I've had women bosses.
Yeah.
I've had male bosses, and I mean, believe me, a woman could be just as big a dick as a guy.
Yep.
Just saying.
That is a fact.
Number 6 is being a disciplinarian. For a long time, the most important aspect of being a father was simply providing for your family. Second, perhaps, is molding your sons into men. That meant being stern with them, even harsh. And that meant toughening them up by teaching them how to shoot, how to fight, how to push through their plan, how to overcome their fears, all the old man skills, basically.
That's right, until you catch them at the next door neighbor's house in the bushes, peeping in the window. Then you beat his ass.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, okay.
I've got another story, but I'll tell you that one later. Instead, they say, instead of being a disciplinarian, here's what you need to do. Communicate with your children. If you really want to have a positive impact on their lives, it's vital that you prioritize being there for them and encouraging them. I don't disagree with that. And encouraging them to be open with you about what they think and how they feel, rather than pushing them to fit into a narrow model of how to be. Don't be the father who punishes his son for exploring more feminine. Don't be the father who punishes his son for exploring more feminine things. He will resent you for it.
That's right. Put the Barbie doll down and let's talk. How many, you name me any parent who hasn't tried to communicate with their child,
right?
Who realizes, yeah, this is not happening. This isn't working. Because the child...
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Exactly.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
There has to be discipline.
Now, I mean...
And that's typically left to the dad. Don't get me wrong.
I'm telling you, nothing will leave an impression on you.
That's right. You wait till your dad. You wait till your dad gets home.
Wait till your father gets home.
Yep.
And some kids, as long as there are human beings on this planet, there will be some you can only deal with in a physical sense.
That's correct.
That is just the nature of humanity. And until that changes, which I don't see it happening anytime soon, again, you better have plan B backed
I've got 4 kids, and every one of them has to be treated in a different manner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the skill that a parent has to learn.
Yes, it is. And then back that up with the right hook. And we'll get to the last one on the list before I do that, though. Love my tummy. Love my no, I'm asking you. Love my tummy.
I love your tummy, Brad.
Just come in here. That's a fun thing to do to somebody. Go up and just blow farts on their stomach. Things you didn't
they tend
really
to not
need to
like
know.
it if you don't know them, but it's fun.
You know what? It gets their attention right away. That's what I like. If you go to lovemytummy.com, here's the thing. They are finding out every day more and more things that are absolutely dependent on gut health. I mean, everything from gut health can affect depression. It can affect your heart. It can affect a lot that you probably weren't even aware of. That's why when we had Dr. Brown in here on from Atrantil,
right,
telling us about everything. If you go to lovemytummy.com, they don't even mention IBS, because that's when I originally heard of this. I thought, well, this is like for IBS. It really isn't. It's about promoting the healthy bacteria in your gut. And let's face it, most of us most of the time eat like crap. Present company excluded, because those are not
this
M&Ms.
has been a tough week,
to hear.
not too emotional.
Tell me not to eat M&Ms, I'm going to throat punch you. It's not going to be pleasant. My right hook.
Brad, for the first 4 months I knew you every morning was a bag of caramel M&Ms.
Let me just say.
And a bag of chips of some sort.
This was developed by a gastroenterologist. It's not a probiotic. It is clinically proven. Learn more about it. Basically, it targets problem bacteria. And just go to lovemytummy.com. That is the best thing I can tell you to do, and learn what it can do for you, because I'm telling you, we are not eating well in this country. All right, it's lovemytummy.com. All right, back to the toxically masculine skills you need to ditch as a man. The number 7 on the list here, the final one, holding your emotions in. For a long time, the model man was stoic, the strong, silent type, never cried. I've been doing a lot of that lately. Apparently, I'm good at this one. You don't cry. You won't admit when something made you sad or afraid. Okay, I still do that at movies. I don't want people to see me crying at movies.
Dude, I'm telling you, every man I've talked to that's over the age of 40 says I cry almost at everything.
I will.
The older you get,
oh yeah,
the more emotional. I guess it's a maturity.
Especially when I look at my bank account. Instead, they say, here's what you need to do. Instead of holding your emotions in and being tough, it's a simple one. If you can't get this, what is it? Talking about your feelings. Yeah. Might not be any single more important skill that you could pursue than emotional maturity. Oh, well, now you lost me there. Emotional maturity. No, I'm not going to be emotionally mature. I'll talk about my feelings more, but understanding what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how to handle that feeling is something few men are taught growing up. Now you know. This is Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The second weekend of February. It's the weekend most sports fans dread because there's no more football to watch. But 2019 is different, as the Alliance of American Football kicked off its first season over the weekend. What is the Alliance? Well, it's been set up as an 8-team league playing a 10-game schedule throughout the spring. Saturday night was the opener with 2 games regionally shown on CBS, and the overnight numbers were a shocking surprise. According to reports, the Alliance dropped a 2.1 overnight rating to take the top spot on Saturday night national television. It outdid another sporting event, an NBA game between Houston and Oklahoma City, which drew a 2.0 rating. That's how strong of a hold the game of football has on the American sporting public. A startup league with no real stars outdid a game featuring 2 of the NBA's biggest names and former teammates in James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Some of the other interesting numbers from the first weekend of games: attendance was over 30,000 in San Antonio from the home opener, and in Orlando, the Apollo's matchup with Atlanta drew just over 21,000. Those are not numbers to sneeze at for a fledgling league. Neither is the fact that the average game took less than 3 hours to complete. But whether the Alliance is a raging success long-term is still a question to be answered, to say the least. But with quicker games, smarter tweaks to the rules, and much more transparency on reviewed plays, this thing has a chance to change the landscape of pro football in a profound way. What will make it potentially different from other spring leagues that have failed? That's the big question. It may have struck just the right tone by not hiding its goal as a developmental league, and having some bright minds in football signed on to the project doesn't hurt either. After 1 week of action, I'm giving it another look or two, and if you're into football, try tuning in for yourself. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and you can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
The Daily MoJo.
As always, get your tweets and your comments in. Use the hashtag What I Learned Today, and we'll read them if I feel so inclined. Good grief, there's a lot of crap to do back here. Over on, and I apologize. I'm not going to apologize to the MeWe group for ignoring them because I gave you a lot of love. Travis there said, yeah, grown-ups. Growing up, I don't know how many times I've had my ass beat to the point of bloody bruises. I think that may be, I don't think you want to make the kids bleed, but I got strapped with a belt a few times. I
did too.
This may come as a surprise, but much like Doc Thompson, I was a bit of a smartass growing up. I mean, I've outgrown that.
Which is funny
now.
because you know as soon as you say something as a kid, you know if you're going to be a smartass, there are consequences.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. My dad.
That's when you push your parents' buttons.
My dad, I had the one time I rode. First, I'll tell you what he did, and then I'll tell you what I did to deserve it. He got home. It was the whole wait until your father gets home, and he was so mad. He had me by one arm and was kicking my butt, literally, with his
going around in a circle.
And here's what I did to deserve it. This was kindergarten. Maybe first grade, but I think kindergarten.
Wow.
Riding my bicycle in the street in a 4-lane highway.
Oh,
with
yeah,
cars.
bad move. But you probably
That's
been
a lot
told
like jogging on a train track.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I mean, there were cars. I mean, it would be like going out here it was not the smartest thing for a mature child of kindergarten age to be doing. Of course, when my sister asked me about it, I said, no, that wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Well, hell no, that wasn't me. You think I'm not stupid? I'm not going to be out there. Of course it was. Yeah. So I can understand why he did it because those things happen, you end up dead. Over on Facebook, where is it? That's who is it? There's another Travis, not the same one. Different Travis. Clearly, whoever made this list doesn't have a teenager. Communication consists of 2 to 3 words a day if you're lucky. That's true. Absolutely true.
We have an expert on the line.
I was going to say, Jeremy Hansen's on the phone from the program Unleashed Jeremy Hansen, which is kind of weird that the show would bear your name and you're the host of it. I mean, that's
hey, brother.
That's really coincidental if you ask me. But how you doing? I hate that question, so don't answer it.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I mean, it's been not much happening around here the past week or so.
It's been a crazy
really
week.
Quiet week. Matter of fact, I've been pretty bored just sitting around and twiddling my thumbs. No, it's you have those moments.
I got to tell you, I got to tell you, everything you read off is like a checklist to date my daughter. You don't hunt, you don't fish, you can't talk to my daughter. I mean, everything you said. But I got to tell you this story. When I was 16, I was like in that, that actual like real life story. Like you find a '66 Super Sport on wooden blocks and you buy it from the old guy for $600.
Oh yeah.
Well, that literally happened to me.
Oh wow.
So I buy this thing and I bring it home, and my mom and dad were divorced, and I was 16. Tough as nails. I thought, I was like literally went to state for wrestling, and I bring my car out and I'm working on it, and my stepmom, she throws a temper tantrum and she like jumped in her car and backed up into my car and smashed the front fender on my '66 FS.
Oops.
So my dad gets home and I am so pissed, and he comes out and he says something, and I grabbed my wrench and I threw it into the ground, and he did the dad thing. He got up in my face and he's like, "What are you going to do?" And I took a swing at him. Now, keep in mind, I'm 16. I'm pretty tough.
Right.
And a 44-year-old guy just can't. He's not going to take down a 16-year-old. Man, I'm telling you what, I hit that guy. My father, love him to death. I hit him with everything I had, and he stood there and looked at me. And it was one of those, oh, shit moments. And I didn't know a 44-year-old man could run that fast. I remember.
That's right. You didn't know if you were going to see tomorrow.
Right. He says, "Son, You're old enough to swing like a man. You're old enough to take it like one. And I got the worst ass beating I have ever had in my life.
And you know what?
That's the time when life changes for you, right there.
Yes, that's when you learn respect.
Sure
you learn respect at that point.
That's right. Let me just grow you up a little bit.
And you've turned out, of course, you are a convicted felon now, and you spent 20 years in prison, and so it didn't. So, how many kids do you have, Jeremy?
I have 11 children.
Do you know what's causing that? I mean, have you figured out exactly why that's happening? Because I can just, if you need, I mean, that's a lot of kids. I'm thinking maybe you just don't, but I mean, when you have that many kids, you better be able to keep them in line.
Right. And, a couple of them are adopted. A lot of them are out of the house. It's crazy. My oldest son, my adopted son's in Mizzou. My oldest biological son is in the Air Force in Italy. So I think we're doing a pretty good job. And then, I've got like a 1.5-year-old here at the house. So It's a crazy life. But you know what? You have to be a man, and a woman has to be a woman. And you're right. You need to communicate. You need to be in touch with your inner self.
Sure.
But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm a man's man. I mean, there isn't an animal that I don't know how to skin out. I could, basically give me some WD-40, some duct tape, a pair of pliers, and a crescent wrench.
Yes.
And I can fix my truck anywhere.
That was
exactly
my dad, too.
Exactly. Jeremy
I
Hansen.
dye my hair.
By gum.
Matt Locke joins us here as well.
I had to come in here and tell the story. I heard Jeremy's story, and I think we all have these stories.
Shocker, Matt Locke wanted to speak on the radio.
I know, but I've got a story. So, same thing is Jeremy. We lived out in the country, and my dad is a mechanic by trade, diesel mechanic. And my dad's 6'4". He's just a little shorter than I am. About 200 pounds, and not an ounce of body fat on him.
Right.
I mean, he lugs around these big starters and all these big pieces, these big diesel engines. 17 years old, I came home one night about 11:30, and he met me at the door. Where you been? And, of course, I'd been drinking with some buds, which was, completely legal at 17, right?
Sure.
And being 17, I thought I knew more than him, right?
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Met me at the door. He says, where you been? I said, none of your business. No, that's not the right answer. He says, you can try again. I said, well, no. He's like, no, where you been? And so at this point, I'm just enough tipsy and just enough stupid that I opened my big fat mouth and I said, if you don't get the F out of my way, I'm going to whip your ass.
How'd that go?
I never saw the punch coming.
See, he had what was called Plan B standing by.
So he looks at me after he drilled me in the face, broke my nose. I've had my nose broken 3 times in my life. God. He hit me so hard in the face, it broke my nose. He turned around, he says, your mother will now take you to get that fixed. And you're grounded. And you said, but today,
yes, sir.
But today you can't do that. Today, you could not do that to your son.
Sure you can.
Well, what would happen?
You'll end up in jail.
Don't you have to drag him back into the house if you do that first?
But I went to the hospital. They set my nose. I looked like a raccoon for a week. But I'm going to tell you something, and we all know this. My father did not want to punch me in the face.
No, of course not.
But I'll tell you what, I never disrespected him from that day again because I've never gotten hit that hard in my life.
Yeah, and you remember it, don't you?
Like it was yesterday.
I think it's more than that, Matt. I think that it installed this respect for all of the older generations. Like, you know what? Those are some tough sumbitches. Yeah. And before that, we thought we were all that and a slice of bread, too.
Yeah. And we were not.
It's amazing. The older you get, the more you realize you're an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you're 16, you think you know everything. And the older you get, the realize you know nothing. But the beauty of it is you actually have this stockpile of knowledge that if the youngsters would listen, you could instill it upon them.
It's generational.
They just
don't. We've all had that moment. So when was your moment? I remember it was pretty funny. We all have this moment. I was like 32 years old, and something came out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh, crap. That's my dad. I picked up the phone that day. I called my father and I said, I apologize for every stupid thing I've ever done because I just figured it out.
There's the realization.
You don't realize.
One day
until
it was me. One day I was looking at my hands and I thought, oh shit, that's my dad's hand.
I know.
And then you go, oh my God. And then I told my daughters when they were growing up, I said, look, when you get old enough and you have your own kids, you'll call me.
Oh, yeah.
Sure enough.
And that call happens.
Yep, it absolutely does.
Hey, Jeremy, have you ever opened your mouth, words come out, and you think, crap, that was my dad? You hear his words coming out of your mouth?
I do it. Yes, I do it all the time, and it pisses me off because I always said so many times, I'm never going to be like that.
Yep.
And now I'm exactly like him.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
The one thing I don't do, my dad would hum. My dad was like MacGyver. He could fix anything, like with a chocolate bar and a crescent wrench. Never had a full set of tools, but he could fix anything. And he would, he'd just be humming away. And you'd go, hey, Dad. We called him Honest Ray. I'll tell you that story later. But and he,
Honest Ray.
Huh? It was like you shocked him out of his zone.
Yeah.
Now, the only person he could never hear was my mom. Never could hear her. For whatever reason, he had the perfect filter. That vocal tonality was just filtered completely out. Are you able to hear your wife, Jeremy?
Selectively. You know, I got a lot going on in my head, and I'm very good at compartmentalizing. So I can pull stuff down and put it away. But I'll tell you something that's kind of different today when it comes to being a man. Did you ever notice growing up you never heard about the wild stories about your father?
No.
It seems like today, you know, but as you get older, your grandma or your grandpa or somebody else will tell you, yeah, you know, your damn dad in that, 68 Charger that he had when he rolled it down here. I'm, what'd you say?
Yeah.
Then you go and you talk to your dad about it. I mean, it doesn't say nothing. It's just kind of a hum, like you said.
Yeah.
You know?
They start suddenly they can't find their voice.
Right.
Was talking to Stunt Brain yesterday, and he has some stories about his grandfather that we're going to get him to call in and tell, because they are. Talk about some of the pieces of the puzzle falling into place on Stunt Brain. I'm just going to say it involves the horse track and a waitress, and I'll just leave it right there.
Sounds like a pretty good book right there. Got to write that sucker.
Opelka has some amazing stories, and he knows how to tell them.
And the funny thing of all of this is you're talking about this, your kids. You know, they obviously it's the age, and they think they know more than you and whatnot. And you know, you're sitting here laughing because you wrote the book. I mean, we did what they're thinking, and have been through it. And you know, it's like, you know, and it's the same thing with our parents. Our parents, you know, for better or for worse, they did what we tried to do, and they know it. And you're always like, oh, well, they don't know what I'm going through. They do.
Well, and again, it's the when something happens to you as you're growing, you have no idea why it's happened to you, and the older you get, and one of your kids does the same thing, and they fall into the same trap, you realize that's why I went through it, so I can go in and beat their ass for it, and just be mercilessly jacking with them on it.
There's this age range where your kids think they rule the world, you know? And they don't know about life yet.
No.
And then the first time you watch them get slapped back into place, you're like, I really wanted to help you out with that.
The stove is hot. I told you the stove was hot, but you had to touch it.
What's your best parenting advice? Jeremy, what's your best parenting advice?
Because you are the expert, my friend.
With 11 kids, I bow to you.
I'll tell you what. I think that Ron hit on it earlier. Every single child is different. You have to be a different parent for every kid. And you better learn some patience. And I think that's why you're supposed to get married first, because you better learn some patience and when to shut your damn mouth, especially if you got a alpha wife. You know?
Well, there is that.
We need to keep out of the bedroom here. With no chains, no weight. We don't need to know this.
Well, I'm glad Matt came on, because I think that in the Midwest, I grew up in Wisconsin. You know, he grew up in Indiana area. I think that there was kind of like a rite of passage, like everybody went out drinking there. And when we were 16, 17, not only did we think we knew everything, we thought that our parents didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a secret that all parents keep under our hats.
Ask my kids how many times they come to me and go, how did you know that? Because I'm your parent.
Right. It's my job to know that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing how if you and there's some kids who learn on their own and they take advice willingly, but the majority of them don't. But that's why that's our job as parents to guide them and to mold them and to at least push them in the right direction. Now, if they wander off that path, and I have friends with a son who's in his how old is he now? Oof. He's out of his teens, in his 20s. He cannot get his life together. Yeah. And they've tried everything.
Right.
They've paid for rehab.
Yep.
They've done, bless them, they've really given it their all. And he's going to walk his own path. And if that's living under a bridge, being homeless.
Yeah.
And I said, you just got to let him do what he's going to do. You cannot, you can't physically, you could physically restrain him, but that's not going to work.
You're not talking about me, are you?
No, that's your story isn't that positive.
No, I got the same.
I got to get off here. I got to get off here, but Brad, I got to tell you, last Friday I dressed up like you. I was trying to.
Why would you dress up like Brad Staggs?
Should we be having this conversation?
You know what? It's so funny.
Dress up?
I got literally 1,000 people that said you look so pretty. And I was like, thank you very, very much. I did the best impersonation of Brad Staggs ever.
He has soft hands.
And last week, Matt, he did the best impersonation of you for the first 15 minutes of his show. Nobody could listen to him because he was yelling.
True. So Jeremy is on this afternoon, 5 to 7. It's Unleashed with Jeremy Hansen, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time on MoJo 50. Thanks for the words of wisdom, Jeremy. And again, 11 kids. Let your wife watch a movie or something, would you?
I will. Thanks, brother.
Give her some leisure time. All right. Wow. 11 kids.
We have time for another caller. We got Mike on the line.
Mike on the line? Well, Mike on the line. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, fellas, how are you? Great. How are you guys today?
Couldn't be better. Could not be better.
Yes, you could.
Excellent. True. I was listening to your story there about your dad, and I've got a similar one. I grew up in Western Canada, but my dad's from Chicago. He was in the U.S. Army, and he raised me to be tough. You got to be tough to live here in the first place. But I went and I worked in the oil patch. So, you get on a plane, you fly up north, and you're on a drilling rig for 12 hours a day, throwing 200-pound tongs and pulling 300-pound slips. So I get on the plane, I come back to stay at my parents' place in the basement. I was taking a shower. Somebody turned on the cold water. So, I got boiled alive. Got out of the shower, got dressed, proceeded to tell my dad exactly what I thought of him and, how he's running his operation. Well, it was like I blinked, and all of a sudden, the carpet was right level with my head. And it turns out he didn't think twice. He just knocked my ass out.
Yeah.
So that was it. And you know what? I never lift them off again.
No. You know what? It's an amazing lesson to learn. And you really, when you learn that way, if you're smart, you only have to have that lesson told to you once. Just once.
You do. And I got to tell you a dirty little secret. I couldn't wait to have kids of my own so I could knock them out one day. Anyhow,
as I said,
by the way, this is Mike with American Knock Radio, and we had a great tribute to Doc Thompson on Saturday.
Oh, very cool.
And got a lot of, we got a lot of really good fan feedback. So there's a lot more people aware of the MoJo brand. And I got to say, one of my listeners started telling me about MoJo. I've been listening to you guys every day, and I'm addicted.
Thank you. And where can people find you?
We're syndicated by the Genesis Communications Network. You can listen to our shows on AmericanKnuckRadio.com. We're carried by WONK FM HD2 in Washington, D.C., several other affiliates, but you'll be hearing from us.
Is it AmericanKnuck.com? Is it American? How do you even spell it?
American UCKRadio.com. American. It's a play on American and Canuck.
Yeah.
Because I'm a dual citizen.
How's it going,
They have drugs for that. You can take them, be sure. No, actually,
I've tried them all.
A lot of folks have been singing your praises. A lot of the jackholes, and I think that you've been actually in touch with the man behind the glass over there. So
yeah, we're talking.
Yeah,
I talked to Ron the other day. Yes.
well, I can see this moving forward. We'll push it down the tracks as well. We'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I'd love to join your family, and your jackals are a great bunch. You guys take care.
There's nothing like them. Appreciate it, Mike. Thank
you, Mike. Appreciate it.
I'm telling you.
Talk to you later.
This is we're not stopping. We ain't stopping.
No, we're not your standard radio station, guys. We're not your standard digital station even.
We
are a family. And
we're
I'm
not
telling
your grandfather's radio station.
We put the listeners on the air on Sunday night, and they did a fantastic job.
Except for that one guy.
Yeah, except for that one guy.
Yeah.
Very proud of him, actually. Very proud of him.
Dan Maynard over on Facebook, my 17-year-old was getting in my wife's face trying to intimidate her. I didn't hit him, but I put him on the bed. He threatened to call the cops. I dared him to. He realized it was time to back down. Yeah, it's funny how that happens. Jules said, I told my dad just recently about some things I did as a teenager. He's upset with me now after all these years, so I should have told him about taking the farm. I should have told him about taking the farm truck and joyriding with my sisters. Yeah, there's some things, some secrets should just be kept. There's no reason to let all of the cats out of the bag. Just saying. Again, if you are planning on attending the service or the visitation this week for Doc, it's the information's on our Facebook page. The location, the times, the whole 9 yards. We're working right now on a way to live stream everything but the mass at Una's request. So we're working on that. Actually, Skip Lacombe is trying to get that done right now. If you're up in that area in Ohio and you are a caterer or a restaurant owner, and you want to, because I have a feeling we're going to need more food than we have planned for. I mean, there's no way.
Brad's really hungry.
Yeah, get some. We have to have hot and readies. We absolutely have to have some hot and readies.
Oh, that'd be great.
At the service. There's going to be a chance for everyone, and you're all invited, obviously. Boy, I wish I didn't have to go. Oh, I hate funerals. A passion.
We just got a couple of days to get through it, Bradley.
So anyway, it's all on the, and again, the only two rules are no pictures of Una and the kids. They just want to remain private, and we'll respect that. And we are working on a different, any word but train. Cubby doesn't know that Daddy got it by Amtrak. So what? And he loves trains. So we won't come up with the word, but if you hear, it can be marshmallow, it can be big government, it can be anything, just not train.
You want to read some heart-wrenching text when Una was texting us back about how she told her.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get through that tomorrow.
It was very tough to read.
I've got that. I'll try to get to those because I started to think I might be able to do that today, and I thought, I've had enough of vocal paralysis for 1 week. I did want to update everybody on the Jussie Smollett story. This thing keeps getting interestinger and interestinger. Is the actor up in Chicago who claimed that he was, after he flew back in, arrived at the airport, went home, was beaten and called homophobic and racial slurs, and slurs that, essentially he is saying that his attackers were pro-Trump, that they yelled, "This is MAGA country," after they beat him and put what he said was a noose around his neck and spilled or splashed an unknown chemical, which I guess has been determined to be bleach, on him. This story is not going well for him at this point. There are a lot of different theories now. It apparently the media and the police in Chicago are doubting the story. People in the media are with their contacts at the police. They are saying behind the scenes that the cops aren't really convinced that this is exactly what happened. They have a couple of things. Number one, the lack of video evidence, and good grief, you cannot go anywhere in this world anymore without being videotaped during most of your journey. The fact that they not only could find no evidence of the attack on video, but the two persons of interest, quote unquote, were, nothing more than shadows walking down the street. It didn't look like they were carrying anything. The attack, he said, the place where the attack occurred was at a street below. It was like below street level. It was somewhere hidden from view. And they have now spoken with the guy who made the phone call to the cops. The cops they came to Jesse's apartment, and he still had the rope around his neck. So after he was convinced by this guy, his friend that was at the house, that they should call the cops, that the cops arrived, and he still had this rope around his neck that he says was a noose. The cops have traced the rope down to it's like the rope that you would use to make a clothesline, cotton rope, maybe a quarter of an inch in diameter. That weave. They say that's what the rope is. They are now searching local stores to find out where it was purchased and if there is anyone purchasing it on video. They say that if it turns out that he in fact did make up this story, that they will charge him with filing a false police report. If it did happen, it's horrendous. It is disgusting. It's all of those things. It is horrible. No one should be attacked for their race. No one should be attacked, period. There's really not a good reason. But if you make a story up like this to further some agenda, that in a lot of ways is even more heinous. It happened at 2:00, they say, and it was the whole bleach story. The fact that if you at the temperatures that were occurring that night, if you threw bleach, it would actually freeze. There's just a lot of things that aren't adding up, and it appears that the Chicago police and the media up in Chicago are starting to see the fibers around this story start to fray. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. Over on the Twitterverse, and I'm getting to as many as I can. B from the SAV, plug in a show clothes from Doc one day, or put together a collage of MoJo hosts and their best Doc impersonations. Better yet, maybe not. Haven't hydrated yet. No, actually, that's something I've been thinking about. We've all been kind of putting our heads together here. There will be something. We just really haven't had time, in all honesty, to put it all together. We will. I promise you that. But something good will come of all this. Your boyfriend, your boy in her girl sleeve. So if Jussie Smollett made up the whole thing, Chicago PD is going to nail him. Yes, they are. Let me scroll down here. The Duchess says Dad was called to be a great conductor in heaven. It's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea either. And Stinky, in true Stinky fashion, just tweeted anal probe.
That's all he said.
I'm assuming that is that's the term or words we would use to replace train.
Not a good plan.
Mom.
It'd be funny, but not a good plan.
Mom, what's
an anal probe?
No, son, your dad was killed by a train, not an anal probe. Wow. Sweet and Sammy, as a teen, I decided to backtalk my mom. Learned that day she was a wrestler. She body slammed me with a quickness. I silently mouthed my opinions to the back of my bedroom door that day forward. Yeah, it's funny, the little lessons that you learn. Sounds like Unleashed Show 1 Netflix and chills way more frequently than me. Thank you, Zick Zember Duranis.
Dude's got a football team.
Yeah, he does. Good grief. What was Groucho Marx? Being like? Look, I love cigars, but occasionally I take it out of my mouth. Groucho Marx was one of the Marx brothers, by the way, just so you know. All right, so I can't even like that one. Somebody actually deleted the tweet. Good grief. And yes, Stinky, push that thing down the tracks. Shaking heads. Yeah, I totally agree with you. All right, we're going to do the whole thing again tomorrow. Today I haven't cried yet. I think it's coming on. It's going to happen. You are an incredible, incredible bunch of people. And I mean that sincerely. Now shut up and go away. Conservative Cartel's coming up next. This is MoJo 50.